Good evening, YouTube land. Welcome to round 3 of OOR's ACC Sprint Series, Season 8. We're on here tonight, ladies and gents. Super Sprints, reverse grid in race 2, split yellow, split green, on a short, tight, and dangerous Brands Hatch circuit. It's a recipe for entertainment, and I'm very glad to be sharing the booth with Repugnant's Cutest Baby of the Year 2008 and 5-time winner of the South Australian Trivial Pursuit Championships, Mr. David Bended McNulty. Hello, friends.
Excuse me.
Hello.
It's actually 7 times, not 5. Don't undersell me.
And I'd like to just correct you. It's actually 2005 Baby of the Year, not 2008.
Well, that's why Bender is the facts man, and I'm not, because I make them up as I go along. He knows his stuff.
I would have to agree with that. Bender facts are always fun to enjoy.
Yes, I'm glad we've found the 2 people in the world that enjoy them.
How are you tonight, lads? It's bloody warm
good,
here,
thanks.
just quietly. Friggin' hot.
Yeah, it's been a very warm one.
34 degrees here, so posty. So
I mean, today I had some swimming sports for school, so that helped cool me down a bit, but still quite warm.
How'd you keep cool today, Bender? Anything special? Oh, just a couple of windows open, maybe?
no, it's too hot, mate, for the windows to be open, and then the hot air all comes in, so got the air conditioner running at the moment.
Oh. When I turn my aircon on, I have to open up windows. That's the rules in this house. I don't know how that works.
Oh, did you get conned and have an evaporative one?
Yeah, that thing. What's that?
Yeah, they're terrible, mate. Get a refrigerative one. I probably butchered that, but one where you keep all the windows closed and it just circulates the air and keeps it cool that way.
Right, okay. Yeah, because it's pretty crap, to be honest. It works downstairs. Downstairs is okay, but upstairs just doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
We're all sweltering up here.
Terrible if it's humid because it'll do absolutely nothing.
Well, there you go. Lesson learned. I'll have to invest in a refrigerative air conditioning system, as you so eloquently put.
Basically, what he
lads.
says there is just open up the fridge and let the air come out. That should cool the house down.
Do the Simpson family and build a tent around the refrigerator. Don't mind that idea, just quietly.
Yeah, we got Matt Powell in chat saying refrigerative is the word of the week. Heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, Bryce Madding saying evap shite, so he's clearly had experience. Yeah, as I said, happy to have learnt my lesson there. I'll go out and get a proper one. What are we expecting tonight here, lads, at Brands Hatch?
Chaos.
Death and destruction. Yep.
it's Brands Hatch. There's always going to be something that happens here.
Yeah, right. I've never seen a race here before. Has there been an OOR event here before? Anything sort of longer than a practice session? What's the history like?
We've had some Sprint Series races here in the past. Yeah, generally pretty good. Always exciting. Not a huge amount of overtaking after the first couple of laps, just due to the nature of the track, but see how it goes. As Ryan Houlihan goes fastest, which is immediately beaten by Bakita. It's a 1:23.0. Do we have any predictions of what whole time will be in chat, as well as those in the commentary box?
I'll be honest, I haven't driven this track for a good year, so I am very unsure on what the times will be like around here, but who knows, maybe we'll finally get that 96 hours of Brands Hatch going.
Yeah, I have not been on the rig more than an hour since Bathurst. Those big events just sort of take it out of me and I need a bit of a rest, so I'm a bit the same. Haven't done a lot of practice, haven't even looked at the hot lap leaderboard, but based on that first time, I'll have a crack and I'll say 22.9 from Houlihan in the Mercedes, who's currently P3 in the championship and needs a big result here to chase down Smithy and Bakita. 22.9 from me.
I reckon we should see a 22.6 from Bakita.
22.6, jeez. That's quick if we see that.
Oh, your guess,
just something
on the table
to point out. Gorilla Snapper said Pip was helping me in the hot laps over a bit today. She was on for a 22.1 to invalid.
Christ. Right.
Well, there you go. Maybe we'll see a 22.1.
Oh, there's your 22.6 on the board already. All right, so yeah, maybe we've gone a little. What did I say? 22.9. This is unbelievable. Yeah, that's what it shows you behind it.
And I said a 22.6 from Bakita. Guess who's done that 22.6?
Yeah, nice one. You're all over it, but with 3 minutes to go, I would expect a few more quicker times to come through. As we watch Smithy navigate some traffic here, I'm not sure if that's. Yeah, he's going to be upset with that car there if he's on a lap, I would suggest.
The traffic, just a little bit of traffic.
But of course, the car in front being driven by Megan D is on a valid lap, so absolutely entitled to run her own qualifying laps as she pleases, and Smithy's just got to be patient here and either build himself a gap for the next lap or hope that Megan D's on a smashing lap and just tuck in behind it.
I would expect the Porsche to run quite well here, considering the nature of the track. As we see the Porsche of Dan Hunter get a little loose through there, but he's kept it going. He's currently P6, 1.3 seconds off of Bakita. It's very, very tight from, what, P4 down to P11.
We've seen a couple of stunning liveries so far. One being driven by this man, Daniel Hunter. The Paddle Pop Racing Porsche, if you don't mind. I think Houlihan's got his Paddle Pop Racing Mercedes out. I'm not sure if there's a couple more in here, but they've evolved the frogs and they've jumped into the freezer and have come out looking like this.
What's your favourite paddle pop flavour?
Well, it's
Chocolate or nothing.
yeah, probably chocolate, I reckon. Just the standard sort of chocolate. I'm not a massive fan of Paddle Pops, to be honest. I don't know if they're too creamy or what. There's another one chasing Hunter behind there. Who's that? 445. So that's Pigger. He's got one as well. Pinata in the Paddle Pop Racing Mercedes. Yeah, probably just a standard chocolate for me. But that probably doesn't translate well to a livery. So I'll leave that up to you guys to pick a better flavour as we watch Jacko come through this second sector. A couple of consecutive high-speed right-handers through here. I actually really enjoy this middle sector. Lots of cutting involved. And those outside edges, very dangerous. Catching too much of those, well, catching really any of the grass out there is going to pull your car around. And I think that's where we're going to see those dramas evolve. As you said, nice tight-knit circuit full of, well, it's not a very wide track, so yeah, once those couple of cars start hitting the grass and spin back onto the track, that's where the drama will be.
Wow, that is tight. P4 down to P7 is separated by a tenth and a half. That is one tight field.
And 4 different manufacturers between 4 and 7 too, so like that, never mind. Houlihan's chopped up into the second position.
Yep, and we've got Pinata up into P4 now, just a second off of Bakita's time. As Reynolds now goes into P4. Yeah. That's close behind Smithy's time, that. So will we see a slight change up in the order before the end of quali?
What are your thoughts here on Brad Cook running the Michael Massey Motorsport livery?
I like it. The name aside, all the memes and jokes that come with it, I think on an Aston, it always looks great in British Racing Green.
Definitely, I would 100% agree with that. The British Racing Green always works when it's on an Aston Martin. So we just jump on board here with Zachary Smith. He's currently P3, currently hunting down a time better. So it looks like Bakita's come back into the pit, so that 22.6 is what stands at the moment. Can Smithy beat that? He's using all the track that he can. He's just coming through the last few corners now. Brakes for the final bend. He has to get it tight but not run too wide, and he's managed to do that. Where will this put him? Will he improve his time? He's got it very tight to the line, and he moves up into P2.
That's a great lap there from Smithy at the end.
And what did I say earlier? 22.6 from Bakita is the pole time. What's the pole time there? 22.6 from Bakita.
Well, you can have a medal for that one, and a zinger box, and a paddle pop.
All I need is a zinger box.
Yeah, I think if you put the paddle pop and the zinger box in the same bag, that probably wouldn't go too well. What I did
Not
notice
really.
there on the grid, and especially for such a short track, like only a 1 minute 22 lap, was the gap from P1 to say P15 and longer was a lot larger than when we go to Spa or Suzuka or more popular tracks where we can go all the way down to P15, P20, and there's only a second gap. The gaps down there were 1.5, 2 seconds, and on a short track. So I think there's a bit of a difference between the top of the field who maybe smashed out some practice and maybe the middle of the field who probably the same as me, let's be honest, who just couldn't be stuffed after Bathurst and maybe didn't get that many laps in on a track that really isn't run on that much. So there'll be plenty of blue flag action. There'll be, based on those times, there's going to be a lot of blue flag action, even in our short 30-minute race here. Of course, only the super sprints. So a 30-minute race here, followed by a second qualifying for everyone who didn't finish within the top 12. The top 12, of course, being reversed for race 2. And that second qualifying deciding who lines up behind them. And we'll have another 30-minute race following this one for split yellow.
I think something about this track that really sticks out is, yes, while it is a very short track, like minute 22, minute 23 lap times aren't very long, it's very easy to make the slightest mistakes that can cost you a lot of time. So if you just run a little bit wide, you don't really have a lot protecting you from running onto the grass and losing time. So we get the safety car come up through the field now, so it will lead.
Great car.
It is a very, very nice car. Any Maserati looks nice, in my opinion. But anyways, it will lead the field around for this formation lap before we get underway here at Brands Hatch.
Quick off-topic but somewhat related story about Maseratis. I was a couple of years ago in a car with a mate he was driving, and he's in this old beat-up Land Cruiser. And he's not the best driver, and he's just inching forwards closer and closer towards probably the only Maserati, like one of 3 Maseratis in Adelaide, that's waiting at lights to turn up. Just like, dude, if anything hits us from behind right now, you are stuffed. That's going to be like 30 grand just to fix some paint chips on it. And I was just like, oh, what are you doing? Yeah. Didn't fill me with confidence. Slightly off topic, I know, but yeah, kind of amusing.
Facts, stories, antidotes, you bring them all out, mate. Like, antidotes? No, anecdotes. That's what I was looking for. Doesn't matter, mate. You bring them all out. I love them.
Well,
I mean, it would be strange if you brought out antidotes. That would be for a different story.
I mean, if you're not feeling well, let me know.
Anyways, looks like we're approaching the end of this formation lap now, so we should be getting ready to start this race.
What's turn 1 like here? Is it chaos, or is turn 2 where the chaos is going to be? What's going to be the chaos corner?
Both. Both.
All right, I'll let you know when we get there. The Maserati is pulling away now. Surprised he didn't get his drift on around that downhill last turn, but managed to hold it. Did nicely. So, as you said, it is Philippa Bakita leading us away, with Zach Smith alongside her, and Ryan Houlihan and Ashlyn Reynolds following them behind into turn 1. Just waiting for the lights to go green here. Nice grid, by the way. Everyone nicely tucked up. Not too bad of a straight line. Anyway, here we go. That'll be green. Zach's got a good start, but I think Philippa down the inside in the Porsche will get that pretty comfortably done at the turn 1. Yes, nicely done. Tell you what, down the inside, there's a couple of paddle pops and death immediately. That could be a safety car, I would suggest. That is plenty of cars around.
Oh, no, someone's not brake.
There's a couple more there. Look, now those two are kissing. This is cute. This is beautiful. And a safety car. Yeah.
The safety car didn't even go through the pit lane. It just knew. It just knew. It didn't need to. It'll just hang back. And safety car, as you can see, has been deployed. That is absolute disgrace.
Excellent racecraft from the safety car. Absolutely aware of what was about to happen. So well
Something
played.
to note, looks like, I think Houlihan may have taken the lead from Bakita, from P3.
Yes, he did get down the inside there as Bakita ran wide to cover off Smithy. Houlihan had a great run down the inside. I'm sure we'll see a replay in a moment, but at least 17 points of safety rating were lost in that turn 1 chaos.
that's yeah, if not more. That was pretty chaotic, pretty quickly.
I like a chat asking how many meters. So here we go, replay of the start. We'll find out where it all kicks off there. You see, pretty even. Houlihan probably got the best run on the inside. Bakita just drifts a bit wide.
It just took shape a lot earlier on that crash. There was just, I think it was a Nissan on the grass that just got into the Mercedes, and Mercedes got into a McLaren, and around the Mercedes went, and chaos.
Yeah, but you're not wrong. That start from Houlihan, absolute cracker. He was pretty aggressive down the inside and managed to get it done. So he'll be enjoying the restart for sure, especially in this single file that they will run from here on in. No more double file. You should hopefully get a lap in, I would suggest.
So we go, looks like we're going to see the incident there.
So that's the one.
That the McLaren. Is that the Nissan in there?
It's that black and white magpie looking, I'm not even sure what that is.
It's a GTR Nissan.
And watch the yellow. Oh, we didn't cut away too early. If you watch the yellow and blue Porsche there, they then crash into someone else after the safety car has already been deployed. What are you doing?
Yeah, there comes a time where you got to put your brakes on. Mark Pushall's in chat. The hamster has donated 50 yet again. Does this almost every week, this lad. Big round of applause for him. Chat, get around him. Fuel money for the safety car these next 2 nights. That's very generous of you. I think we might need a bit more than 50 because this Maserati's done more laps than all of these race cars at the moment.
Yeah.
But thank you very much, hamster.
I think the safety car will be a contender for driver of the day. That's for sure.
You stole my line there, Bender. In fact, I'm going to go out there and say they'll be driver of the week.
Driver of the week. Oh.
I mean, I'm guessing that we're going to see a safety car in nearly every race, considering how tight and narrow this track is. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But at the moment, we've got 1 out of 1 safety cars.
It's not a bad little shout, that, actually. The driver of the week. Shouldn't be that hard to sort of pick out, the driver of the day from each of the splits and then review them for the driver of the week. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's coming in. And we're
Let's
green
have
again.
a crack. Round 2. Bender, you want to take this one? Oh, good call from the safety car waiting in the air. Ready. He's ready.
Houlihan hasn't gone yet. He's going to leave it as long as he can, I reckon, just to stop any kind of run. He's gone now. He should have jumped from Bakita. It's like a few people pulling out to avoid rear-ending each other towards the back there. It's never a good sign as the fastest lap bot goes absolutely ballistic. It's a lot cleaner start this time, which you want to see. Obviously single file. A bit of damage way at the back, unable to catch up, but it's a long race still to go. It's much better. Big opposite lock moment there for Emily Jones, but keeps it on track right away. There you go. JC talking earlier about dipping a wheel on the grass. Just seen an example of the corrections you have to do to keep it pointing straight.
There's a lot that you have to do around here. It's a very simple layout, but it's a super intensive layout on the driver physically. You have to be really aware of what's going on around you and be very precise in where your car is positioned. We see Matt Niferous get up the inside of Brad Robertson, and what's that? Open the door for Bianchi? No, it does not. So Niferous gets past Robertson after Robertson just went maybe a little wide. That's a Mercedes off. That's Linton Wills, and that's into the wall. Won't be a lot of damage, but that will still hurt his race quite a bit, falling back many positions.
He's lost several positions there. As you see, Houlihan sets the first representative fastest lap, 24.7. So I reckon that'll come down a bit more as we go on. Tyres reach their optimum temperatures. See sunny conditions down the inside. Jake Graham at turn 1.
Oh, there's a love. Bit of love.
Sano off in the sandpit.
Fairly
there's a
sure
couple
this
out
is
there.
Sasano is a debutant tonight.
But we need to check. I know we've had Sasano, or at least some Sasanos before. None of the names though. That's that was almost a very bad rejoin there. Right then, but front look how much they're using the runoff. Not even runoff area, just the harder sections of grass on the outside of the track.
The grass creek, as it has been called. I don't mind that, the grass creek. And yeah, there's plenty of it. There's plenty of it on the inside of, I'm gonna say, Sheen. And there's plenty of it on the outside of, I think it's like turn 6 maybe, or maybe turn 7. But other than that, the outside, like especially the outside of Sheen, there's just nothing out there. It is road and survival, or grass and death. There's no in between.
Grass and death is typically where I end up.
This hairpin's tricky too. That inside of that hairpin's got, I don't know, bubbles on it or something. And I don't know about other cars, but you get the McLaren up there and it just spins it immediately. There's hardly any chance to save it.
Pretty sure every car, if you get some of it up there, you're gonna have a bad time. We see a few penalties pop up now. I think it was a 10-second for Kefford on lap 1, and that one was 5 second for, I can't remember who, for an infraction on lap 2. That would be with the safety car restart, most likely overtaking before the control line.
What do we just go away from the front there? I mean, it's looking promising so far. Top 3, just under a second, just over a second separating them. How do we think that's going to play out over the race?
I reckon Paquita will be putting a lot of pressure on Houlihan. I mean, we've seen how fast Paquita is around this track, and she's very, very close to the back of that 999 car of Ryan Houlihan, so it'll be interesting to see whether she can make a move. It is very difficult to make overtakes here, as she sets fastest lap after fastest lap.
Yep, she's quick, and we have seen her pass Houlihan before, remembering back to Paul Ricard. I think is the most recent example she got it done, but as you said, Paul Ricard, very easy to overtake. This track, not so much. So, yeah, very much looking forward to seeing if she can get that done, but we're on board here with Ashlyn in the nut entry, as he chases down Matthew Pinata in another striking paddle pop livery.
I'm sure. Sorry. Go on.
No, I was just saying he's got this corner nice and tight, and he's following Pinata around pretty closely, and that was about all I was going to go with, so let me know what you were up to.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, with the nut entry here, it'll be, I'm sure he'd like a bit of rain to just wet the nut a little bit so he can go for some more aggressive moves. That moment looks very, very
Nepris
cool.
around the outside. Oh, that is Mode Shazran Razar. He made that look pretty comfortable, just quietly, did Nepris.
Oh, yeah, that was fantastic. Making moves around the outside is very, very rare.
Good to have him in the box on Sunday for the end of Bathurst as Philippa Paquita goes purple again. Yeah, quality commentary from Matt Nepris when he joined us on Sunday. Really enjoyed his work.
Yeah.
Was that a little love tap there from Saxon on Shazran, I think?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just getting a bit close there, but Shazran's holding on well against some of these drivers. I mean, he is leading the AMs as we see Saxon just make a bit of a mistake, and that lets Robertson through.
He's also our man, Jamie Saxon. He's dropped the ball a bit. He hasn't got a team name.
I noticed there's a few that don't have team names at the moment.
That might be something to do with posting liveries incorrectly or something, but we'll maybe give him a chat. Say, put something funny in there, boys. Give us something to read out as we watch Philippa all over the back of Ryan here. Looking very tidy in this Porsche.
He's been setting fastest lap after fastest lap, but Houlihan must be going at almost the same clip because she's gone from like 3/10 to 2/10 behind. So you can't be far off the lead pace. What's that, 23.4, 23.3, there you go.
Does that suggest that Philip is probably a little bit quicker and is maybe stuck behind Houlihan here? Just can't really find a way past, as you said, on a track that's not known for its overtaking.
I mean, Matt Lapp has managed to bring Smithy well into this. He's only a few tenths back from Bakita now, so we have a very close battle for the win. All of these three are currently on the podium, so we'll see how it develops as the race goes on, as we're approaching half distance soon.
So all three cars using plenty of the exit grass out there at the end of turn 3. There's a bit of grasscrete out there to be used. And then around turn 4 onto this, the longest straight on the track. And then down into a very quick right-hander. Hawthorns, I think this one is, before we get to turn 6.
Looks like Houlihan's having to go a bit defensive there against Bakita, so Bakita is really putting the pressure on car 999 here, so I'd expect a move sooner rather than later.
Oh, she's up so close on that corner. Just really throwing the car in there. But yeah, as you said, they're all very tight. They're battling, but just don't see a way past that Mercedes. If Houlihan keeps it on the right line, it's going to be a pretty difficult 17 minutes for Bakita sitting behind. And Smithy as well.
She's got to be really careful with where she makes the move, because if she makes a move at the wrong spot, then Smithy is right there to capitalise.
Yeah, you'll have to see this type of racing though. Top 3 in half a second. Not often you see that.
Tell you who is getting moves done in camera 2 down here is Matt Nepris, as he goes right around the outside of that paddle pop into turn 1. He's made a couple of moves in the last couple of laps, so he's maybe a little bit out of place, and he's moving up the field pretty swiftly down there in camera 2. But we will continue to follow this battle for P1, P2 and P3.
Looks like the move he made was on Sam Gorowski, so he's up in the P14, currently 4th in Pro-Ams, approaching now Perkins in the number 33 car, also in the Nissan.
These three, of course, our current champion protagonists here in Split Yellow. Philippa Bakita leading the way with Zachary Smith in P2 and Houlihan in P3. So, as I said, Houlihan in P3 will be looking for a pretty strong result here tonight in both races. That'll certainly help his chances in the championship. As early as we are, of course. I say early, but we're going to be half through at the end of this. We've got 3 to go. Suzuka coming up next week, followed by Zandvoort and Kyalami to round us off.
Talk about a short season.
Yeah, you think you're in it, but if you leave it too long, then you're very quickly out of it in a season like this. So Houlihan will be very interested in, as I said, just keeping a nice line. He looks like he's got it pretty well covered, let's be honest. He's shown us before he's a very quality driver. And he will just be bonking it in all the right spots, keeping his line nice and tidy. And he'll say to Philippa, good luck to you.
Yeah, it's a bit of sense of urgency only having the 6 rounds. Really prioritises the winter course. You are competing for series championship. Look how wide they are, that's insane. You are competing for the split championship, but also you want to compete in the overall standings as well.
Well, yes, of course. Obviously, all our pros from all 4 splits will be invited to the pro finals. I'm actually not quite sure, forgive me, on how that works this season. I think we're doing it a little differently. I can't remember if there was a finals. That might be being changed, so I might have to get our factual man to go and have a look at that. Because I might have misquoted it. I'm not sure if there is finals this season.
Probably going to ask. I don't believe there are. I think that's been swapped out for the overall.
We've just got word from from Malt. There are no finals.
Yep, so
Yeah, a little.
the overall standings are 4. You can compete across the calendar year, I believe it's tracking.
Yeah, a little mozzie in my memory bank trying to ring a bell there somewhere of some reading back in the past. So that does make these races absolutely critical.
Yeah, it does sound like the end of year there will be something. So we'll see what happens with that. But we've got 2 very intriguing battles to look at right now. The battle for the top 3 and the battle further back for what looks to be P5, P6 with Hunter currently leading that train, followed by Pinata, Thornton, Boats, and Jones.
Oh, that was a very quick return to pits from car 29. I'm not sure who that is, but at the roundabout turn 4, they just very quickly went from yellow to pit lanes. I'm not sure what happened there.
Well, we have a new fastest lap holder. Zach Smith has managed to get a 23.1, so he now holds the fastest lap of the race and is right behind Bakita. I reckon if Bakita doesn't make the move soon, then Smithy's going to want to capitalise.
He is all over the back of her, isn't he? Look at him go as we watch from the back of Houlihan's car as Bakita just got a little bit crossed up coming out of, I think it was turn 3 or turn 4, and Smithy was right there. But again, a narrow track, just couldn't quite get the exit and couldn't get anything done. So it is incredibly close racing from these 3. I think the previous best lap was a 23.16, and that was a 23.1.
Well, it was a 23.3 was the previous best lap.
Okay.
That was set by Bakita a few laps ago.
Make sure you've got those notifications set up, Sloppy Knob 97, because the Discord will let you know when we go live every time we go live on YouTube. So, again, in the going live section of the Discord, make sure you haven't got that muted, you've got your notifications turned on and whatnot, and you'll get a little buzz every single time. Here comes the replay. This is Jamie Saxon around the outside of a paddle
the replay.
car.
This is still live.
The graphics got me again every time. Thank you, Alex.
And just something else to add, if you want notifications elsewhere, you can also enable them on YouTube by clicking that bell icon next to the subscribe button, but as long as you do not unsubscribe. As we just see Brendan Warren on the back of, who was that, no, that's Simon Gorowski there, just ahead. He's having a good look, is Warren, currently leading the AMs. He's gotten ahead of Shazran in the Honda. So we've got 2 Hondas leading the AM class, and it's the American leading the Malaysian. So we see a little bit of a look there.
So it looks like Simon is carrying a fair bit of damage too on that Mercedes. So clearly struggling for pace there, I think.
That was squeezing through there from Warren, and he's got the outside line, but Simon's pushed him wide. That's a bit naughty.
Very large elbows from the paddle pop racing entry there, I would suggest, and he's actually lost out 2 positions in doing so, and he's now got Warren putting even more pressure. And tell you what, Warren gives him a little touch back and puts him out onto the grass. So Simon really losing out here. A couple of cars now pouncing, swamping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars. If this one can get it done. No, Simon holds on to that one, but you can tell he's battling with that car. You can tell he's really got a lack of pace in it, and he is doing his absolute best just to stay as high as possible with some, a little bit of argy-bargy is right, Raphael.
I think a little bit of argy-bargy is almost a bit too much of a statement to make. That was a bit wide from Petty Bridge. That's let Cook through, and now Cook's looking at overtaking Warren. He's gonna try the switchback. Not a lot of room there, but hasn't been able to do it. Warren's holding on for now, but he won't be happy to have lost the time compared to Shazran in the AM lead.
Tell you what, Shazran qualified very well. I think it was up in the top 15, or at least very close to. So, as you said, for an AM class driver, really showing his wares here in the Honda, which is, not particularly strong in this patch, so he's doing pretty well up there, is Shazrin.
I know Shazrin really likes his Japanese cars, and the Honda is definitely one of his favorites. He's currently trying to hold off the Michael Massey Motorsport car of Brad Cook, who is pro class.
And rightly so, too. He's had a strong couple of weeks, has Brad Cook. Here's the replay graphic not showing us the replay again as we switch back to our lead for 1, 2, and 3.
Yes, we also had a bit of breaking news before, JC. Now banned from reading out names of users in the chat. We do have to bring that restriction in sometimes. You know, you got to proofread the names, mate. You can't just read everything you see.
Yeah, that is a relic of my high school years where I sort of just blurt out what I see and or think. So I will work on that. Thank you, Mr. Benderman.
We've had to ban a few over the years. Braden Ross, most notably. that was quite an entertaining one for those who remember that one last season.
Mr. Mosqueda Fall himself.
Look, I'm probably due for a ban, let's be honest, with all the names that I butcher. Yeah, maybe I need a bit of a rest on the bench, think about my role here and come back stronger.
Yeah, think about your actions.
Over to the naughty corner.
Detention for you.
The naughty corner. Yeah, and we cross live to the naughty corner with Jamie. What are your latest thoughts? Yeah, we can make that into a segment. We can work with that. It does look like Bakita, it's just, I mean, it's half a second between them, but it looks like she's just edging a little bit closer to Houlihan and away from Smithy a bit, so she's just breathing a little bit more marginally now after the attack he launched a couple laps ago.
As usual though, that Porsche is struggling a bit more in straight line compared to the Mercedes and the Ferrari, so we'll see whether that affects Bakita's ability to get past Houlihan or to defend from Smithy. So we see a few more penalties appear now from lap 1, so that's from the major kerfuffle at the start.
Yeah, you're not getting me with that one, Mr. 97.
He's a fast learner, JC. The name's Billy, not silly.
So, a couple of penalties coming in now for the lap 1 incident. Matt Niparis picked one up before for obviously being the gentleman who kicked all of that off, but a couple of others getting some penalties for rejoins here as well. So a word to the wise there. If you are involved in an incident, regardless of whether it's your fault or not, make sure you hold those brakes because you will get busted if you don't.
What are brakes?
They're the middle pedal because I've got a clutch. I don't know how many people use clutch, but it's the middle pedal, Alex.
I mean, I have a clutch pedal there, but I don't really use it much. I find it a lot faster just to use a button on my wheel if I have it, because that's specifically what I do for F1. It just improves its reaction times a lot nicer than using the pedal.
I guess. Yeah. What's it like in a real F1 car on these cars? Have they got clutches on the?
So in a real F1 car, they use a paddle on the back of the wheel. I'm pretty sure for F1 cars with clutch. Not sure about these, if they even have one.
Can we get our Mr. Broadcast man to potentially show if these cars have a clutch? Potentially, I thought we saw a battle for the lead happening there, but it was just a blue flag car. So they are coming up to lots of blue flag traffic now. I'm sure we will see a little bit of drama with 4 minutes to go.
Saw the blue flag, but we'll give a quick shout out to car 20, who was just lapped, letting all 3 leaders through at once and not holding anyone up. We'd love to see it.
That's perfect. So yeah, as we said, Matt Niparis having made some glorious moves so far, up there in a P13, but now holding a 15-second penalty. That's going to hurt him. Doing some quick maths there. That'll probably drop into around about 18th, 19th. But still 4 minutes to go. We might be hoping to get past Robert Schumer Wenzel and sort of lengthen that gap a little bit. But these three in procession here. Quality drivers, absolutely OOR's best. And as it was said before by Diabolls when he joined, this is an absolutely stacked split. We've got some mega fast names in here. But yeah, these three... Oh, there's one off in the grass out there. Not sure who that was in the Aston. As these three make their way through some more blue flags. That McLaren doing an excellent, excellent job. Absolutely sacrificed themselves there to not make a mess of this battle for the top three.
Oh, Smith, here we go.
Smithy got an exit. And gets done pretty cleanly. And doesn't run wide, so he will keep that spot. I'll tell you what, this blue flag traffic all doing an excellent job so far. They are absolutely getting out of... Look at that. Perfect. Get off the road. I love it. And not costing themselves any spots either. These three having to navigate it, but it could be super worse. These blue flag drivers, hats off tonight. Very good so far.
They're quite aware at the moment, which is very, very good to see.
There's another one. I think that's... I was going to say Nipris, but he's nowhere near Shazrin, and we're just watching him get past Shazrin, so not sure who that one was. But yeah, 2.5 minutes to go, and we've seen an exchange. Smithy has gone bang and popped up into P2.
Will that just open the door for Smithy to have a go at Houlihan in the closing stages of this race? We'll have 2 laps to go once Houlihan crosses the line with 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go. You'd expect there to be 2 laps.
Yep, Smithy will be looking for back-to-back wins. Obviously won the Bathurst 12 hour on the weekend. Take out race 1 tonight, but he's got to get past Houlihan first.
Either way, if he stays out of Bakita, this will do him a world of wonders for the Split Yellow Championship, as he is in second behind Bakita at the moment. Although I'm sure he'd love to get past Houlihan if he's able to, although he's just run a little wide there, just behind Houlihan.
Mac Daddy's gone bang. Donated 10 to us before, and another 2017 here in recognising the start date of this great community. Nice little gesture there. Thank you, Mac Daddy.
Thank you very much, Mac Daddy. Much appreciated. Love the support. That's what helps us stay here, providing you this content. Come around to last few corners of the penultimate lap. We'll get one more in. A little bit of traffic up ahead. The 842 car of Will's. That might be an issue on the last lap. So a bit of a spanner in the works for these three. So far, Houlihan, he's held them all off. He's dealt with the pressure.
Linton is an absolute legend when it comes to blue flags, though. He used to run the mobile blue flag livery. Not sure if he still runs that in the specials, but he is known for his classy blue flag driving. So he will understand the situation. He will know that this battle is coming. He will, I'm sure, be a gentleman.
Meanwhile, sounds like we've got issues further back. Rag in chat letting us know that Emily Jones is having gearbox issue. She can't shift up from second gear.
Oh no. No, she's currently in P10s. That's not going to let her go very quickly at all. That's not ideal.
Is that game issues or hardware issues?
Unsure at the moment.
Look how close Smithy is. Is he going to have a look? He can't really have a look through here. If he does, Bakita, I'm sure, will pounce. What are we thinking? Second to last corner is the real one. The left-hander coming up, maybe.
I have a feeling Houlihan's already got this race.
Bit of traffic up ahead. The paddle pop car. Not sure who it is. Needs to get out the way.
That'll be Linton, if I'm not mistaken. And I think he's going to do well enough alone here. Yeah, they're just going to come across in procession. Linton comes across with the pedal pop livery, as well as Ryan Houlihan, who takes this one out in P1, basically start to finish with a very nice move at turn 1. Smithy managing to put himself up into P2, very nice, and Bakita comes home in P3. Ashlyn Reynolds across the line here in P4, followed by Dan Hunter in another ice creamy livery, and Pignata. Boats behind him, Thornton, D, and let's see if Emily Jones can bring this home. She's managed to got up fourth gear there. But fourth gear, I'm not sure if that's the gear. She's still probably struggling with it, I would suggest. She is going through the gears a little, so she will come home in P10. Good effort to bring that one home. And Matterford, Wenzel, Niparis comes across the line in P13, but will get a bit of a slap and fall down when Robertson and Salty Rod come across the line. Niparis, unfortunately, as we said, that lap 1 penalty is really going to hurt his chances. He will drop down a couple. So it is a very nice battle there towards the end for Robertson and Salty Rod.
So Niparis isn't actually going to lose any positions.
No, Robertson's 17 seconds behind, so Niparis keeps it.
But that doesn't mean anything because he's 13th, just outside the range of reverse group pole, which Robert Wenzel has taken.
Yeah, points for 13th, probably points better than points for 14th, though. So he'd be happy to be 17 seconds up on Robertson.
Looks like Linson's run out of fuel right at the end.
Perfectly calculated.
Well, he did that extra lap, you see. If he'd let the leaders through, he wouldn't have had to do it. But I'm sure my man, Robert Wenzel, he'll be quite happy. He picks up reverse grid pole position for race 2.
Suma! He'd be very happy with that.
He definitely will.
So nice dry conditions. Actually warmed up a bit for the race. It was 16-16 qualifying. And yeah, 20-24 for the race. So it got pretty warm. Wow, it's not super warm, I guess. It's over in England, though. That's bloody warm. That's scorcher for them.
Oh, that's
heat waves.
Beach, ice cream, shorts weather, mate.
What's the time of day for the next qualifying session? Is it the same day? Is this all run on the same weekend? I think they are, aren't they?
No, so for the super sprints, pretty sure. It depends if it's a night race or not. If it's a day race, it'll be on the Sunday. If it's a night race, I mean, it still could be on the Sunday, but I haven't looked at the calendar personally. But we're about to find out. No, it's all on the Sunday. There you go.
Yep, and only 2 hours in between too, so you wouldn't expect a great deal of weather change as we flip over into the next session. A little bit warmer, a few extra clouds, but certainly nothing rain-worthy. Partly cloudy and perfect conditions for qualifying. So here they come, P13 down to the bottom of the field. Will have a crack at setting a quick time here and trying to put themselves as far up the field as they can for race 2. Obviously, with P13 being the highest they can plonk themselves. As we said, Suma finishing in 12th last race will start from P1 next race. And Houlihan, who won the last race, will start from P12 and fight his way through for another bag of points. Paul Kranich in the John Player Special. I like that.
Yeah, it is a nice livery. If you're in chat watching along, let us know what you think of this, I guess, super qualifying session. Get a chance at redemption. Personally, I think it's great. It really adds that extra spicy element to the second race. You know, if you get taken out or have issues, whatever, in race 1, you can still salvage something from the back in race 2 rather than starting last or wherever. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it creates more chances if you do have a poor race 1 and you've got pace. It means you don't have to make your way through the pack and can instead try again from a better position.
Yeah, or if you're just a dead set plonk and you bottle qualifying every time, it gives you a second crack at it.
Yeah, that too.
Well, I wasn't going to call you out, mate.
Ah, do I, me? Nah, me? Nah, I don't plonk qualifying. No, I absolutely do. Absolutely bottle it. I just get the jitters. I just get nervous. Just, I don't know. Just can't do it. Especially on really big events and big races. Just can't do it. Never let me qualify if I'm in your endurance team or something. Never do it.
Well, I mean, it would be even worse if you're in a shootout, because shootouts are very, very high pressure situations.
Yep, 100%, which is what makes those lap times all the more impressive that we saw on the weekend on Saturday night for Bathurst. It's one thing to go fast, but to be able to do that in front of what we had over 100 viewers and all that pressure must be surely, oh yeah, I get shivers thinking about it. Goodness me.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
the OGs will remember early on in ACC series, we had a very fast driver who won a couple of splits, Stephen Bull. He competed in a few special events as part of the team, first name, last name group early on. He was one of the fastest guys out there at the time, and just for whatever reason, just could never get it together in the shootout. So, yeah, that pressure in qualifying when you need that one lap just changes people.
It happens to the best of us.
So a couple of times coming through here, Kranich and then Kefford and then Saltyrod all beating each other to the top of the tables. A couple more times starting to filter in amongst those at the moment. Shaquille. Let's see. I'm going to stick with Shaquille. I was going to have a crack at that first name, but no, not tonight. That'll take some practice. That'll take some practice, Alex.
Come on, we know you're really good with names.
I don't mind butchering names, but I would literally hurt myself trying to get
well,
that out.
let's go on board with him, and I'll give it a crack for you, mate.
Currently on provisional pole is Shaquille.
Alright, so he's racing for Gamasala Re. Now, here we go. This is bad as Brad Cook goes for division 1 pole. Ilhamullah Karim Shaquille.
Yep, I'll pay that. That's much better.
I reckon that's pretty close.
Nice work from you, Bender. Hats off. So, yeah, he was up there on pole, but as I said, Brad Cook goes a 10th quicker. 3 minutes to go. I'm sure we'll see a couple more come through. Anthony Ward has been let through there, I would suggest. So that's nice. Nice etiquette from, I think it's an Aston there, the green one. I was going to say, he can't overtake him on a valid lap, but he certainly let him through. So that's accepted. So sneaky ghosty, Anthony Ward. Shazran has dead set impressed me this season. After coming out of rookies last season and being gifted some hardware from OOR's finest, a couple of very generous community members helping him out with a wheel and some pedals and a few other things, I think. They've been named before, those generous gentlemen, but yeah, Shazran has worked on his racecraft, he's worked on his lap times, he has absolutely put in the hours, and I love the effort from him. Yeah, very impressed with his work throughout the course of this season so far. Of course, he's had his incidents, but who hasn't in this season so far? And yeah, really showing what he's worth in the AM class, plonking himself nicely up there in 15th, I think, for the last qualifying session. So we'll see what he can pull out here.
Yep, you'll have to say that. See him around on the Discord as well, posting various discussions, particularly F1 news. Don't always have the time to reply to it, but certainly.
Oh, that's a send.
Cross things.
Not sure about that in qualifying.
That's a paddling.
Yeah, Kranich and Kefford involved in that one. So we saw a bit of some nice etiquette from the cars previously. Clearly, those two not agreeing on who should be allowed into turn 2 first. So yeah, the stewards, of course, will have a look at that. They don't just steward the race. They steward qualifying as well. Penalties obviously being a little bit different. Yeah, probably a grid penalty on the way for that one, I would suggest.
I wouldn't be surprised.
JC, can I get a Brands Hatch fact? I'm not a factual man, but I tell you what, the current temperature is 21 degrees ambient and 27 degrees track temp. There you go.
Well, that's kind of boring.
Look, mate, as I said, I don't do facts. I'm not a very intelligent person. I just call it as I see it. And that's what I'm seeing.
But, well, look, I'll try to bail you out, JC. It's not certified bender fan. I'm a bit dubious on this one. But something wants me to say that there was some sort of NASCAR festival at Brands Hatch a few years ago, just before, or during, no, probably not during, but just before COVID happened. Once there's like some sort of NASCAR, like, festival of speed at Brands Hatch for whatever reason. I thought that's a bit weird.
Right, can someone fact check that one? Because that's interesting. Those NASCARs, I thought they were only designed to go left. Am I wrong in that? Don't they just do oval racing, those things?
Yeah, it might not be NASCAR, it might have just been American touring cars or something, but I just remember some sort of American car festival at Brands Hatch, and I thought that's a bit strange holding it at Brands Hatch, but
Could be sort of something with like Trans Am sort of thing.
yeah, it could be.
Well, interesting to say the least, factual or not. They're a different sort of vehicle, those big American boys, so that would have been fun to watch.
I'm sure it would have.
Linton Wills, what can he do? Currently P17.
He's dropped down to P18.
Getting pushed down to P18 by someone who finished a lap there behind him. And he's pulled over, so clearly he can't do better than what he's managed. That's okay. He'll fight his way through the field. Salty Rod managed to improve a little bit there, but only enough for P3. Bianchi getting it tipped in nicely there, getting a little bit wide on the exit and catching a fair bit of grass, so not sure where his lap's sitting at the moment, but that'll cost him a tenth or two. Got it tucked in nicely through there and got on the gas pretty early, so we'll have to see what sort of time. Currently P13, 1.5 off the pole, and doesn't improve, so he will start from P26. Nice work to all our super qualifiers there. So we saw last race how difficult it is to overtake. How much work can those three get done? Houlihan, Bakita and Smithy, of course, starting from 12, 11 and 10. What sort of work can they get done on a track that doesn't promote overtaking when they're not trying to overtake each other? Obviously, credit to the drivers in front of them, but they are probably not quite as quick as those three in a class of their own. So we would expect to see some moves, but where are they going to be? How are they going to do it?
A lot of it depends on lap one. They could get skittled very easily if someone comes a couple of positions ahead of them and wipes them out. Then that could be disastrous for them.
We've got some news. Car 27, a 6th place grid penalty for collision and overtake. So that is, I believe, Kefford.
Yeah, that was that incident we saw in turn 2. It was, yeah, it didn't look pretty. And 6th place grid penalty is pretty significant. We see some 3s and maybe some 5s sometimes. So come out with a big full 6 there is a fair whack.
That is one hefty whack, indeed.
So just a little bit of extra time here, of course, as the grid gets sorted out. 20 seconds to go until they're allowed off their boxes, and then the stewards will call them through. Well, I say stewards, our excellent race director, Alex Firelord, is in chat. There he is. Give him a yell. He won't listen. He's too busy at the moment. As I said, rearranging this grid. He will call Suma through in P1, and everyone will file in behind him, and then he'll obviously have to subtract 6 and carry the 1 and move Kefford around and all sorts of stuff. So Hats off to Alex and the steward team, of course, for all the hard work they do. Bit of quick maths happening here. I'll tell you what, it's a bloody colourful grid. Like, even if you took those paddle pop cars out, there's all sorts of different liveries in there, and I love that.
You
I don't
always
mind
love the colour.
I don't mind the manufacturer liveries that we ran last season with all the teams, you know, running the same livery. It really helps nail in the fact that there are teams and that they're helping each other out. But I love the creative freedom too.
I
love
don't
this
think
Springboard.
I don't think last season we were running the manufacturer liveries. I think that was the season before was the last time we ran the full the manufacturer liveries with like the teams in that.
It looks like the safety car's got going there after a short problem.
So it was carrying some speed into turn one. Interested to see how he handles this. Oh, it's beautiful.
Decisions to make up. Do we remember what the conditions were for race one? I believe it was 24 degrees track, was it?
Yeah, 24 degrees track, 20 degrees ambient.
21 ambient, 29 track now. So it might just help with tyre warm-up issues slightly. I don't know for the first, we had the safety car period, but it did seem like the first few laps drivers were just getting the tyres in the window.
Looks like everyone's got in order now, so we are going around for the formation lap with Wenzel leading the way.
We got a few people in chat asking what the safety car was doing. The correct answer goes to Tarkin. It's Italian. It's just making it dramatic.
C.
Si, senor. Tell you what, that temperature won't be helping is those front left tyres.
Those front left tyres will be receiving a major hit at this point in time.
They get a little cooked around this clockwise circuit, and especially through this middle sector. Lots of hard hitting right-handers. Plenty of weight transfer onto that front left tyre. Yeah, but short 30-minute races, so you wouldn't expect tyre wear to be a significant problem. Unless you've got your setup completely all ballsed up. But these guys are pretty handy. They're in the Sprint Series for a reason. They know their way around it. And of course, in the Sprint Series, you've got your team chats to get the advice of your peers. So you would assume that they've got it pretty well covered. As the safety car pulls away, it will be Robert Wenzel who leads them away from Matterford. Tell you what, Emily Jones and Megan D, the two girls in third and fourth, looking pretty dangerous there, I would suggest. Very quick drivers. Thornton and Boats, they're no slouches either. And then, of course, Bigger, Hunter, Reynolds, Bakita, Smith, Houlihan, all chasing them down. It is going to be a barnstorming 30 minutes here in this reverse grid. Round 3. Split yellow. Here we go.
Green light, go low again.
Tell you what, Suma's being pretty generous with that start. And in fact, I think that is Matterford who's jumped away out into the lead. If I'm not mistaken, I think that silver one is... No, never mind. Silver is Wenzel, so he's got the jump. He is away. But Emily Jones has pinched P2 in turn 1. Looks like everyone's sort of filed through turn 1 pretty cleanly. Up at turn 2, they'll go around the hairpin pretty well, nice and tidy. Suma's got a great start. Him and Emily have sort of skipped the field here a little bit. Matterford managing to hold on a little bit. And yeah, the
Lexus... hand up the inside there. It might be up to P4 or P5 already.
Might be Pigger, I think. Pigger's also running a paddle pop livery.
All right. Too many of them.
Yeah, you're not wrong. They're hard to differentiate with their.
They're all the same. Sorry, guys.
But no, pretty tidy start from everyone. There's a couple of lagging down the back there. Number 20 and number 17. Obviously not getting off to a great start. Not sure if they came together, but everyone else. Oh, is that Bakita going wide there? Bakita seems to have lost a couple of spots there, I would suggest. And that's the McLaren going up the inside of her, so she loses another one. Probably 3 or 4 spots she lost there. So it's not going to do her chances any good. but the McLaren got a pretty poor exit, and I thought Bakita was up alongside me. Oh, she's actually she's gone down the inside. That's a beautiful reverse move, and I would suggest down into turn 1, she'll be hard on the brakes. She'll get that done. So managed to get that one back from the McLaren of Shaquille there.
Emily Jones is in the lead of this race.
She is. She's posted a purple lap, and so therefore she's got that move done before the last corner on Suma, who's dropped down to 3rd as Robert Wenzel. Thornton in the Lexus.
She was actually behind when they got to the line.
Oh.
I'd assume it's because she started further back from where Wenzel was.
Tell you what, that's Thornton there in the Lexus, going a little bit wide and losing himself a few spots, and didn't quite get the exit that he was after coming out of Surtees either. So the paddle pop of, I'm going to say Smithy. No, it was Pigger. Yeah, Pinata up there in P4 at the moment. Smithy's not running a livery, that's right. Goodness me, I don't know. We're working on it. We're working on it.
Running a livery, but not the paddle pop livery.
No, that is Matthew Pinata, who's moved himself up into P3 now. So there is plenty of shuffling happening. There is plenty of moves being made. Look at them, 2 wide.
That's brave. Don't go 3 wide, please.
2 by 2 as they come through Sterling's and up into the last corner. Clark curve this is.
Around the outside of Megan D there. That is brave.
So I did say that it was going to be hard for these cars to get through, and there's not a lot of there's passes everywhere. It's all happening. We're only on lap 3 now, and this field is being shuffled. Megan D battling with Smithy here. 2 very classy drivers. They will have a lot of respect for each other, so I wouldn't expect these two to come together. Megan D managing to win that battle for now, but the war is not over. Smithy will continue to chase her down. And right behind them is Houlihan, who obviously won the last race. Currently has moved up 2 spots and still has Bakita behind him, so he'll be very happy with that. But Smithy leading these 3 around and chasing down Megan D. I don't expect a move on Megan D to be very easy at all.
Got another fast launch behind him as well. Houlihan, Dan Hunter up to P12 now as well.
Seems both of the Porsches lost positions on the start. Makita started in P10, was down to P11, I think. Dan started P8 and is now down in P12, so not a great start for the Porsches. They'll be looking to capitalise on any mistakes around them, or Ali Tribe's getting past people, as we see, or Megan D just got a little loose. That's opened the door for Smithy up the inside, and I think Smithy should get this move done fairly easily on Aston Martin of Megan D.
Just tuck in. Oh, that's tight. Oh, but here's Houlihan. He's going to send it on the inside down to the hairpin. Bakita's going to follow through as well. Megan D getting stranded on the outside line in a world of pain and suffering. There goes another position. There's Dan Hunter. No, not quite close enough. Look at this ahead. Oh my goodness. This gaggle of cars.
These 2 by 2s continue. It's getting... I can't believe we haven't seen anything worse so far. It's great driving, let's be honest.
Oh, it is. You love to see it. Racing this close around such a tight track.
The fact that none of these guys have made any mistakes into each other yet, as we see. Oh, there's that Houlihan up the inside of Smithy, and I think he's got the move done as well, although Smithy seems to be holding just around the outside. No, he's lost it, and
Bakita's up the inside of Smithy, yeah.
They're still side by side through there as Houlihan's looking to get a move on.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I think that's provisional pole sitter Wenzel in the fence.
That was our pole sitter, Wenzel in the fence.
Oh dear.
And I think that was that contact with Houlihan there.
Yeah,
There's a couple of yellows now. Couple of yellows now, so it's kicking off down there. There's there's 2 or 3 yellows back there. Oh, Bakita getting all sorts of crossed up there too. So the tyres are warm, but the battles are hot, and it's starting to get a little shovey. So yeah, a couple of cars dropping right back through the field there. This is Bakita getting up the inside of Smithy. Smithy managing to hold it down into Surtees.
Fudge there.
Bakita going pretty wide out there on the grass creek, getting a little bit slippery. Smithy holding his line nicely.
I'm sure the stewards will be all over those incidents. See, Brad Cook gets 10-second penalty for a collision on lap 4. I think that's the first penalty we've seen.
So just see Manafort behind Pignard. Pignard's managed to move up into P2. Emily Jones has gotten a brilliant start in this race, already 4.4 seconds ahead of Pignardo in P1.
Yeah, Pinata doing a great job moving up from the middle of that sort of top 12. He's made a couple of nice moves and looking very strong. But as you said, yeah, Emily Jones having a great start. Currently holding the purple lap.
AC, we've got a move for P6 here. Houlihan getting up the inside of Boats' McLaren and gets moved done pretty cleanly.
Yep. Easy done there.
He's doing very well as Houlihan. He's sort of put a gap between himself and Smithy and Bakita, so he'll be enjoying that temporarily. He'll try and close up behind Thornton in the Lexus now.
Yeah,
Can't imagine. Sorry,
you go.
I was just saying, I can't imagine the Lexus being super strong here. Correct me if I'm wrong. It loves sixth gear, and there's nowhere you get to sixth gear here. It doesn't really like sort of tight corners, and there's a few of those. So Thornton driving the wheels off that Lexus must be, as I said, a pretty tough car to drive around here, I would think.
Yeah, I'm certainly not an expert on what's the meta car, if you like, at every circuit. He's doing well. David Thornton up in P5. I was just going to say, Houlihan, he needs this gap to take advantage of Smithy and Bakita being stuck behind others. You know, he's obviously had that incident with Wenzel. We don't know yet what the stewards will determine with that. So if he does get a penalty later on, might need to put a bit of a gap.
I reckon he's going to need or either way, he's going to need a push if he wants to try and make his way up in the championship, as he sets fastest lap now, 27.6.
Yeah, well, extra points if he can hold on to the purple lap. I'm sure we'll see that broken, but currently holding it, so he'll enjoy those points. But yeah, as you said, if he whacks a penalty on, that'll hurt his chances pretty thoroughly. Emily Jones absolutely dominating this one so far. We talked about the gap before. It looks to have extended. It's nearly 5 seconds now, so she's obviously got those paddle shifter issues finished. The gearbox is all good to go. She is flying away.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it'd be disappointing if she couldn't have got it fixed between races, particularly given she started quite high up. I think she started 3rd.
I believe so, yeah. Or, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 3rd. Looks like Thornton's managed to get past Manafort, so that Lexus is doing rather well for him. He's right behind Reynolds.
Yeah, Manafort under all sorts of pressure from Houlihan now too, so Houlihan tucked up nicely. He might not make a move into the last corner, but if he gets this exit right, Mercedes power. Yeah, he did. He got a great exit. I tell you what, Manafort moves across there, but thinks better of it. And up the inside goes Houlihan. We've seen already he breaks deep into this corner, and he does again. Pulls it up nicely, gets that job done really comfortably. So now a couple of positions between Houlihan and Smithy and Bakita. Smithy and Bakita obviously still back there battling. In fact, Smithy goes up the inside there, and there was a bit of contact. Didn't get a great view of that, but Smithy and Bakita were both there.
I think it was Smithy up the inside of Boats. So interesting if we're able to see that from a different angle, whether there was a bit of dubious action going on there. But either way, that's put Bakita ahead of Smithy and Boats behind those two and Megan D.
So we were talking before about Houlihan potentially picking up a penalty. And now we've got, you know, could be potentially Smithy. Again, we didn't get a great angle of it, so I'm not going to sort of say it was definitely either one of Smith or Bakita or anyone else really, but if those guys are all picking up pens, that just sort of levels that playing field again. And therefore track position comes to be all the more important. And
really
so does that fastest lap.
that really puts Bakita in a good position if those two pick up penalties, because at the moment she's in just behind Houlihan now.
I love Emily Jones' team name. Hello. Hello.
It's simple.
Hello.
It's like the old Macintoshes, where it would just boot up and say, hello.
That's lovely. I like it. This one's a good one too. 1-3 cabs from David Thornton. That's a good one. Oh, that's very wide.
Wide, yeah. That's a wide cab.
And Houlihan says, thank you very much. Didn't have to work for that one very hard. So we've said Thornton's had a good start to the race and he's been performing pretty strongly in that Lexus, but the smallest of mistakes there. And that's what it cost you. Houlihan doing very well, having come from P12, is now up into P4 and currently holding the purple lap. As we said, potentially some pens to be handed down, but nothing yet. So looking very strong.
This is a replay, JC.
Yes, a replay. Thank you, sir. Yep, on that. So this is the incident, and it was indeed Smithy.
Oh, Smithy. Oh, straightens him up a little bit, but yeah, I reckon that might get looked at, or will get looked at.
Yeah, there really wasn't any room there.
So it really cost Smithy because Bakita was behind Smithy going into that corner. So not only is Smithy potentially going to pick up a pen for that, but Bakita got the position as well. So that's really going to hurt Smithy.
Yeah, almost a worst case scenario there for Smithy. But we'll see what the stewards think. As we have a nice close battle here between Reynolds and Houlihan. Houlihan on the back of the Nissan. Also got just Pinata a little bit further up the road. As we see Bakita get a very nice exit out here. So it looks like she'll be able to make a move on the Lexus going into the next corner. Not surprising considering how quick the Lexus is in a straight line. Oh, she has to get a bit loose through there, as probably wasn't expecting the speed difference between the Porsche and Lexus, but she still kept it straight and is still in P6.
So I've got half race distance just about now. Look at this Bakita. Going inside of Thornton, having a look. Thornton leaves the door open. Bakita with the inside line coming up the pit straight. Should be able to get it down to turn one. That Lexus is very quick in a straight line though. As Smithy sets a new fastest lap for 23.7. Was there contact there? I reckon there was.
Smithy's going to pounce here, I think. He's certainly going to get Thornton. And has really closed the gap on Bakita. So, nice opportunistic move there from Smithy. But yeah, you're not wrong. They both looked a bit messy coming into, well, out of the exit of turn one. So there probably was a bit of contact there.
Has Emily Jones made a mistake somewhere? Pinata's right behind.
Yeah, you would think so. Yeah, good call from you, Alex. It looks like Pigger's really closed that gap, as we said, out to 5 seconds before. And right up under a second now. So, yeah, probably a small error from Emily somewhere. Tell you what, Ashlyn Reynolds a very quick driver as well. Only 2 seconds behind those two. And Houlihan right up his clacker. So that top four not really separated by much. And of course they've got Bakita and Smithy closing in as well. So with 14 minutes to go, this could get really interesting going into the last couple of laps.
We could see a six-way fight for the win at the end. That
Six-way fight. Jeez, that would be amazing.
6 wide into the last corner.
Oh, you can only dream. Well, here we go. Houlihan has a look at the inside of Reynolds, but can't make a move. This is just inviting Bakita and Smith closer and closer.
Yeah, chat rightly pointing out that Emily had some gearing issues before, so they were quick to judge.
Yeah, she might
They
have
were quick to judge and say that she may have made an error, but yeah, it could be hardware again.
Hopefully that hasn't come back. That would be worst timing to have it when you're leading the race.
So here's Hawley. Houlihan has made plenty of nice moves so far in the early stages of this race. But Ashlyn Reynolds is a very good defensive driver, and he has the Nissan's wide bottom to help him defend. Houlihan has usually got his moves done into turn 1, so he'll get a really good exit here. But you see Ashlyn gets a nice exit too, and moves immediately over to cover the inside line.
We've got note that Bakita has spun but has saved it, so she's dropped behind Smithy by 3 seconds now.
Well, there you go. The order shuffles once again.
Yeah, Pigger closing that gap ever so slightly in the first sector. But still not quite right up underneath Emily. If she can hold on to her hardware, she looks like she's just got the pace over Pigger at this point in time.
I'm going to call it here. This is for Houlihan, Smithy, Bakita, anyone else behind them. You have to clear Ashlyn Reynolds. He's almost on their pace, wise, I'd say. And whether he gets close enough to leaders to join that battle, I'm not sure. But if you can't pass him, you're not going to win the race. But, I mean, I guess it's kind of simple, but you know, you're battling for third, fourth, and fifth at the moment. But I guess the other drivers, no disrespect to them, not quite at the same pace as those as Houlihan and Smith and Bakita.
Houlihan gets really wide at the exit of that second last corner. Gets right onto the grass. I wonder if that's just affecting his run going into the last corner.
He's definitely pushing the limits, trying to extract every bit of pace from that Mercedes as he tries to find its way past Ashlyn.
It's not going to be easy. That Nissan definitely has pace in a straight line. I mean, Ashlyn is no slouch either.
Tell you what, Smithy's closed right up here. He was 2 or 3 seconds behind, but has now joined this pack. Here's a replay of Dan Hunter in the Paddle Pop Racing entry. This is the last corner. Just catching a bit of the grass there.
Oh no.
And a little kiss on the bum with the wall.
Well, it's going to be a lot bigger than it looked for a moment there.
Yeah,
Done well
reflection
to
saved him.
Yeah, he's done well to save that as best he could.
So that's dropped him down to P14. As you said, could have been much worse. Did pretty well to hang on to it as much as he did. Those walls pretty close there on the exit of the last corner, so he's done pretty well. But yeah, on board with Smitty here, who's now holding the purple lap. That sort of escaped our attention. It was Houlihan's for most of the first half of this race. That is wide.
Mistake.
There goes Ashlyn. He has cracked under the pressure of Houlihan and Smith in his mirrors.
They've
And
got
just
10
goes a
minutes.
little wide there at turn 1 and allows both of them through in one fell swoop. So now Houlihan gets to stretch his legs again and work on that gap of 2.4 seconds up to Matt Pinata.
They've got a real task here if they want to win this race, either of these two, but they've got the pace too, I reckon.
Smithy will be very pleased he managed to get that move done with Houlihan and didn't get caught behind Reynolds, because Reynolds has only made that one mistake so far. You wouldn't bank on him making another one in that Nissan. So Smithy will be very happy he managed to follow Houlihan through. Tell you what, Ashton's caught back up. He's putting some pressure on Smithy here, just quietly. Not happy with having lost those positions. Reynolds will be looking to get them back.
Reynolds.
Let's start off with P10. Nipris v Shaquille. Oh, Nipris has gone deep. And Shaquille says thank you very much.
That's the move into the top 10. I mean, Nipris is still leading the Pro-Am fight at the moment. Matterford isn't too far behind. Meanwhile, we've got, that's, Dan Hunter here. He's just gotten past Sasano into P14 as the number 3 car. It doesn't look like Houlihan's been able to close too much of that gap. It's down to 1.8 seconds. Gonna be a task from here.
Sorry, I wonder if that's a little bit from Pignata just dropping about half a second back from Emily Jones. Gap now at 1.2 at the front. Was about half a second, 0.6 before.
Doesn't seem like Houlihan will quite have the pace to catch up to some of these front guys of Jones and Pignata to try and really take a move, but he's in P3 at the moment, which is a good position for him, but he's got Smithy right behind him. So he come across the line now. We've got 1.5 seconds between Jones and Pignata and 1.6 seconds between Pignata and Houlihan. So yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be catching Emily Jones anytime soon. But we could have a good battle here for P2 possibly.
Oh, Reynolds, a lot of curb through the hairpin there. Save on the exit.
Oh, Zachary Smith, 5-second penalty for causing collision on lap 8, so that will hurt his progress in this race massively.
So I guess based on that, the fact that Smithy's been given a penalty, which happened a few laps after the incident between Houlihan and Wenzel, that the stewards have deemed that Houlihan v Wenzel was a racing incident. We haven't seen anything pop up for it, so he might be in the clear.
You'd think so, as Bakita has picked up 5 seconds for causing collision on lap 1, so both of Houlihan's championship rivals have gone into penalty trouble. But that's interesting. If Bakita's been given a 5-second penalty for a collision on lap 1 after Smithy's been given a causing a collision penalty for lap 8, then maybe Houlihan really isn't in the clear.
I take it back. Maybe it's still being looked at. Well, you don't know.
It could be a lot of a closer penalty than we think.
Yeah, the stewards have a pretty big team in the box there, and they'll have split up, and they'll be looking over the incidents in different teams. And if they can't sort of reach a decision, then it's off to the race director. So there's a fairly lengthy process there that they go through.
2 seconds, JC. Smithy's been given another 5 seconds, so maybe that penalty's been upgraded to 10 seconds.
Penalty's definitely starting to flood in now, so the steward's getting the job done. There has been very few incidents in sort of the last 5 or so minutes, so they'll have a bit of free time to get all these handed out.
Update, so Bakita was not involved in this, that was a wrong car, so correct car incoming in a moment. And there's the information straight from Firelord in chat.
So 2 paddle pop Mercedes in procession here. Looking like they've both just jumped out of the freezer together, and Smithy right behind them. Oh, I don't think there'll be any team orders from the Mercedes perspective, but they are close mates, those two, and Houlihan in the championship battle. Worth thinking about.
I don't think there'll be any team orders at play here between these two, even though they are running pretty much the exact same livery with the exact same...
Whoa, that car's going the wrong way. Who was that?
Looks like a Honda.
3-2.
Oh, is that Smithy up the inside there too? Oh, he definitely had his nose in. He was having a look. Houlihan covered him off, but goodness me, I thought that was going to be closer than it was. He's very interested. He's got the pace as Smithy. He's got the fastest lap. He's got those 10 seconds. He is seeing red. He wants positions here. 3 minutes to go.
He's got to be careful he doesn't gain one position but throw more away by losing time battling or getting another penalty.
Well, we're going to have some issues shortly with blue flag cars, so that could play into the results of this race.
Tell you what, I do hope Emily Jones' hardware issues hang on for another 3.5 minutes, because she has had a commanding race up the front of the field. And it's just been stretching out that lead by sort of a tenth or so each lap. Pinata not able to reel her in. Although Pigger has got, nice pace too. He's held off, well, he hasn't held off, he's kept that gap between himself and Houlihan Smith. So with 3 minutes to go, those two up the front there looking nice. But this battle here, this is the one to watch. Smithy chasing down Houlihan all over the back of him in the Ferrari. But yes, with those 10-second penalties, that's really going to knock him down the field. Based on the mass at the moment, probably around about 7 or 8, which is behind Bakita and obviously well behind Houlihan.
Well, that's not going to help him, that's for sure.
We just have to wait and see how it plays out.
How are we looking back here in the midfield? We got Warren doing very nicely in the AM class, currently up there in P17 and well clear of any other AMs. Matt Nipperis doing very well again, showing some pace tonight here at Brands Hatch. He's currently P1 for the Pro-Ams. Never mind, he's all good. Carry on. I thought I saw him go sideways there, but never in doubt.
That was half a commentator's curse.
Did he go sideways, or did I
He
hallucinate?
did go sideways, yes.
Managed to save it though. Great effort from Nipperis. I don't think the Nissan's very easy to save too, with its big fat bump.
It is a handful to try and control.
You would know. You raced in it last season, didn't you?
Yeah, there were a few moments where brown flags were raised, but yeah, it's not the easiest car to handle when it gets loose.
Look at this view. Oh, we're looking for the rear wing of Pignata.
Yeah, I do love this
There it is
rear.
again.
I do love it. Yeah, we've had a couple of new views come in recently. The ones from the ground level. Looking out the front, especially, is like really good for the sense of speed. But looking out the rear of the splitter is a great little view. Just a real sense of speed when you're down that low to the ground. It's like real television shot stuff. They go out there on the grasscrete. Oh, there's a bit of a lap car letting him through. That's beautiful. But yeah, you can see how close Houlihan getting up to Pignata now. He's just 2 tenths behind with 1 lap to go. Pignata's done very well this race so far to just stay up there in P2 and hasn't really had any issues whatsoever. So he's had a nice clean race, but Emily Jones doing an excellent job up in P1. She would think that with barring any sort of calamitous issues or blue flags or gear change type dramas, she will probably win this one. But it is that battle we're looking back on. As we come up into turn 2, it is Pignata, Houlihan and Smithy, all within tenths of each other.
Yep, this finish is going to be close. I mean, I think it's pretty certain it's going to be Pignata and Houlihan on the podium. Smithy might finish ahead on track, but he's got that penalty. Still going to go for the move if it's on though.
Smithy again getting really interested up the inside of Surtees there. It's an interesting corner turn 4 because there's a couple of different lines that you can take that really nice tight line, but a lot of cars taking a wider line, a sort of later apex to get the best run onto the straight, which, as I said, is obviously the longest straight on the track. So yeah, there's a couple of different angles you can attack turn 4. Smithy taking a much tighter line than Houlihan. Yeah, it just looks like he's going to show his nose up there and have a crack, but he hasn't. But Emily Jones coming up to some blue flag traffic now, but you would suggest they cause no issues. She rounds the last corner. That is Clark Clerve done. That is race 2 done. Emily Jones is your winner. Nice work. Pignata holds on to P2. Houlihan comes home in P3, and Smithy very close across the line there. Looked like he was, yeah, look at that, under a tenth is the gap. But with those 10 seconds, he's going to fall back through the field. Reynolds comes over the line 5th. Bakita right behind him. Thornton, P7, D. Oh, no, Shaquille, he was P10. He was going to bring us home in P10. He was. I don't know how close Nipperis was, but I'd suggest Nipperis has gone past because He's been stationary there for a fair while. There goes Nippers off into the distance. He'll bring us home in P10. And that is a terrible spot for Shaquille to be stuck because he's going to have to be pretty patient there, I'd suggest. He will be losing a fair few positions. So F's in chat for Shaquille there at the end. Looking pretty good for a top 10, but unfortunately on the last lap, getting a bit of a bin happening. Robertson doing well there to bring home a little gaggle of Pro-Ams there. Kefford rounding out the top 20. But yeah, Nippers managing to not only take home the Pro-Am victory, but also...
battle here between Kranich and Gabriel Lapuz.
Not much of a battle, just for sort of bragging rights here on track position, because Lapuz obviously holding that 5-second penalty. Even if he did get him, he wouldn't be getting the points for it. So, congratulations, Emily Jones. Have a victory. Put that one on the shelf. Nice work here in race 2 at Brands Hatch. Yeah, bugger those braking boards. That's what I think. Good job. Nice one.
Yeah, it was a very good drive from Emily after the issues she's had with the with her gear shifting. But yeah, it's really good to see her take the victory there after a very good drive.
Yeah, beautifully done. Bender, who was P1, 2 and 3? Tell me.
In race 1, Houlihan, Smith, Paqueta. And then in race 2, well, race 1 still, we got the Pro-Am, Matterford, Wenzel, Nipris. And in the end class, we had Shazwin, Redzer, Warren, and Gabriel Lapuz. Race 2, overall, Jones, Pignata, Houlihan. Smithy finished up P6 in the end. In the Pro-Am, Nipris, Matterford, Salterod. And then in the M class, we had Warren, Miller, and Gabriel Lapuz coming home. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for Split Yellow.
That's wet. or greasy at the moment, but that's
It
some rain.
is.
So
Hello.
The green, which never fails to deliver.
Well,
You can hear the excitement in Bender's voice.
Oh,
He's gone up a notch.
We're up and about, ladies and gentlemen. Up and about. Here we go. Greasy track conditions at the moment, but you can see in 30 minutes' time, heavy rain and intensifying. So we've got a cracking race one at least. I would expect to be in rain conditions or on a wet, damp track.
Is the race straight after qualifying though? That 30-minute rain, is that going to make it to the race?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes, it will.
Oh, look out.
Well, as we say hello to the rain, it's time for me to say goodbye and bring in Sean Muller. It's been very, very nice to be here again commentating. It's been some very good action tonight. And
banging effort from you tonight, Alex. Excellent effort. You've made it through the heat in Victoria today, and you've rocked up. You've done an excellent job. So thank you very much to you.
Yeah,
not a problem.
Thanks for joining us, Alex. Catch you next time.
Will do. And have a good call for the rest of the night.
Thanks,
you. Mate. Nice work.
As I said, we can welcome to the box Sean Muller. How are you, mate?
Very well, gentlemen. How are we on this beautiful Wednesday evening? It is very hot here
We're
in Victoria.
keen now. Look at it. It's raining at Brands. I can't contain it. Let's go.
It's very exciting. I'm definitely as happy as Homer in a donut shop. Rain. Rain at my favourite track in the world, in the Garden of England, which is Kent, the beautiful Brands Hatch, and it's got beautiful English weather. How good is this going to be?
This is typical English weather. This is what we were missing when it was bloody English summer. Oh look, rain in 30. Honestly, that's so appropriate for
This is what we were
every
missing
time.
in the GT4 British mini-series we did. It rained in one of the 5 races in a British GT series. How does it rain in one of the 5 races?
Well, it's claimed a victim back there. That was car 57 on the side of the road. Zachary James.
44, Jean-Pierre, he's
it's claiming some victims already. 211 yellow as well. Sorry, tell me about it. Tell me about your favourite track. I can't. That's a divisive opinion.
It is. I've always loved this track. Ever since I've been driving on sim racing games or simcades, I've just loved Brands Hatch. I love how technical it is. I love how dangerous it is. But I also love the mental strain it puts on you as well. It's just a real tester of car driver, and throw in some participation or some wetness, like that, and it is spicy drama.
Spin King's livery living up to its name there from Jacob Weatherburn. Tell you what, he didn't spin it though. He managed to hold it. Did very well, did Yoda, to sort of keep it going straight.
Tell you what, 25.6 in these conditions is not hanging around. Wowee.
No, it's not. If only we could add me to the entry list, I'd be there in 30 seconds.
Yeah, not wrong though. 25.6, and the conditions getting worse. Like it started off in greasy. You'd assume that time was posted in greasy conditions. It's now damp, so that's looking very good for what is currently provisional pole. Even with obviously a really strong grid behind him, he's got Duong, Senekis, and Hignett and Reel all up there, sort of challenging him. So yeah, it's a great time.
Tell you what, shout out to David Barker there, currently in 6th position in the M class McLaren. That's a fantastic effort.
Yeah, it's a great effort. It's about being out on the track at the right time on the right tyres. Of course, as the rain starts to come down a bit more, track gets worse, harder to beat it.
This sets up an interesting turn 1, lap 1.
Oh, did you see split yellow, mate?
I did see split yellow.
Yeah, so stay tuned. I think safety car will be making an appearance pretty quickly, I reckon.
No. I'm going to go out on a limb and say there won't be a safety car because it's wet. Because everybody will be that little bit more cautious and it will turn into survival. I reckon there will be no safety car. Anyone want some milk on that one?
I love your optimism, mate. I'll put a milk on it, that's for sure.
I'll put 2 litres on it. I'm that confident we will see the yellow jag.
2 litres of premium triple espresso dare iced coffee. Let's get it on. Yeah, I just think everyone's...
Look, no, I'm sorry. We're
10 litres.
We're going to cut the stream there. Look, I'm sorry, Jamie. We're going to have to let you go, mate. You can't.
No.
You can't be supporting Dare milk on stream.
Dare is the best. Get stuff.
No.
Oh, wow.
No, you can all rock up out the front of my house with your Farmers Union and I'll happily share it with you because it is a quality drop, but it just doesn't quite match Dare. Although I don't know about 2 litres though, you'd have to add a whole lot of coffee in there. This is all sorts of cars getting...
Clinton Love hits very hard there. Sean, I think we're going to organise an intervention for JC here. He's strayed too far from the light.
Very much so. You can't be knocking Farmers Union like that. That's just a straight red flag for me.
Again, I'm not knocking Farmers Union whatsoever. It is a close second, but it's just it doesn't quite get to the level that Dare does. And I'm very specific. It's got to be a small Dare. It can't be a large Dare because otherwise the coffee's not strong enough. But yeah, Farmers Union's pretty handy. I'm not bagging on it. It's just, yeah, I'll have it there.
Sorry, look at the safety car making an appearance in the background there.
Drifting it.
Getting
wow.
some practice.
It is proper wet.
Race control with the update there. Thanks for joining us, JC. Best of luck in your future endeavours.
If I was to leave Discord right now, the stream wouldn't hear it, would it? That would, yeah. I was going, nah. All right.
It wouldn't hear it, mate.
Have no effect.
So there we go. The rain has just changed from heavy rain in 30 minutes to light rain in 30 minutes. So it'll be decreasing in intensity probably after the formation lap gets underway. About 5 minutes to go in the end of the race. So maybe not enough, well, certainly not enough to have a dry track, but perhaps enough to have someone towards the back come into the pits, put on some fresh tyres and make a dash for the fastest lap in the last couple of laps.
Look at all those drivers scrambling with their setups.
Yeah, great call. We were saying at the start of the last race, well, the start of Split Yellow, how few drivers would, perhaps have practiced due to having just come out of Bathurst. So there'll be even fewer drivers who have practiced in the wet and have a setup ready for that. There'll be, it'd be panic stations, I reckon.
Oh, look at that sheen across the top coming down.
Yeah.
Oh, you love to see it.
Go. Meanwhile, it's very comfortable here in the booth at the moment.
I don't know where you live, but it's super friggin' muggy here. I am not comfortable in the slightest.
I've got 3 fans going in the aircon, so I'm surviving.
Does your aircon work, or you got that garbage aircon that I've got? What is it? What have I got, Bender?
The evaporative system.
Oh,
Have you
dear.
got
No.
refrigerate? What is it? What did you call
Refrigerated.
Refrigerative. That's a word.
Yeah, no, I've got very good aircon, very cold aircon. Kind of have to in this country.
How long do those posts last? Do they make it through lap 1?
No.
Does everyone? No. Only I'm just thinking because of the rain, right? Does everyone miss this apex completely because of the rain?
Yeah, no, look, they get cleaned up because someone's missed the hairpin and they've ricocheted off the left-hand side barrier and skewed back across the track.
Just pinball all the way down here and get them.
Speaking of that, how long did the 150 board last at Bathurst on the weekend? That was incredible.
Oh, it depends. I know one of my teammates joined in a couple hours, 3-4 hours late because of power and tech issues. And if you join in late to the server, all the boards respawn in or reappear for you however it works. So we had them there for the majority of the race, while all us guys went out early. They were gone after the first couple of hours. It did last a long time.
It did. So it looks like it's going to be... I'm probably going to butcher this, but I'm going to give you a go. It is going to be Giacomin off pole.
You absolutely nailed it, mate. Luke,
Yeah, spot on. Spot on.
Our championship leader at the moment, Ryan Duong, in the Audi. Currently has a 25-point gap over JP. And then got Johan there, currently in 3rd position. Where did Johan qualify? Looks like he's down there a little bit. Is he not racing tonight? Just having a look there. Can't see him on that board there. Mr. Hignett there in 5th. Barbecue Buns, Mr. Mike Reel there in 6th. Nice job by him. And Mr. Barker currently in 7th. That is a ripping effort.
Yeah, love that from the AM class McLaren. Very nice work up there in P7. Looking forward to seeing how he goes.
So if we get an F in chat for the Maserati safety car, it's slugging around with no TC or ABS in these challenging conditions.
It's a great car in the wet. I don't know what you're talking about. Simple to drive. Luca Giacomin, let's go. Why are they in single file?
Because of the wet conditions.
Really? Is that a thing? Okay.
Well, yep, it's at the race director's discretion. I'm going to say they've called it a single file start due to the wet conditions.
How's that safety car milk looking now, boys and girls? Tell you what, well, a couple of squigglies in the back though as they get going. Luke is going to lead them down into turn 1, but even with that single file start, it got pretty hairy off the start as everyone hit the accelerator and a couple of traction controls not quite kicking in. Down to turn 1, it looks like most of them made it through pretty cleanly. Turn 2, pretty cleanly. I tell you what, the milk's looking good. Everyone, there's a couple of 2x2s, but they're all being pretty cautious in the wet. Nice and easy, just looking for survival. This is nice going through the first sector. Look at that. Not even a single... Oh, never mind. There goes one out there. That won't be a safety car, though. He's just not quite got it right through what I think that is turn 3, Graham Hill or something. But it's looking pretty clean. Send me that 10 litres, baby.
The conditions of the arrangement have changed, mate. We were all going on double file premises.
No, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Fine print, fine print.
Yeah.
Got my man here, Clinton Love, Clinty Go-Go, currently in 11th position in the big bad Bentley. Oh, there we go.
Carnage. Bentley's in its element. It's natural habitat, the water.
Because it's a boat. I got it.
But is off there. Didn't quite catch who else was involved. 3 or 4 cars. Someone's still facing the wrong way in sector 2. Looks like car 380. Callum Gibbons, no.
No, Gibbo. There is plenty going around. There's a couple of yellow flags showing up already. But Luke has got a handle on the conditions. Put it on pole. And he's very quick across the line for a start. There's another one out there in the sandpit. No.
No.
Love it.
No.
If I did that to you lot, you'd be all carrying on like pork chops. So, no, send me the milk. You don't have to send it to me, though. We're running a tab. That's okay. You're probably still winning with all your predictions just quietly. But good start, Split Green. Very nice work.
That was 3 wide in the picture-in-picture. Sorry about that. Carnage in turn 4.
There we go.
It looks like it is all kicking off now. 5 wide as they're trying to pick their way through the carnage.
They're all still going straight. It's not a safety car carrier.
There we go. Safety car has been called.
Safety car is deployed.
Well, so what? Do you still not get milk now? Because the rules changed?
More fine print you didn't read.
All bets are on.
Always read the fine print, right? What do they say about contracts? Read it once to understand
Super
it. Read it
duper
twice
triple
to,
double fine print. Goodness me, I've been shafted. Oh dear. Well, I don't even know that. Well, no, I'm not even going to bother. It's all right. You can find. You can have your milk. It was a nice start, Split Green. I still think that wasn't a safety car, but we'll have one. We'll group them all back up again. We'll have another crack in single file. Bingo letting us know that O'Gold is on a mission. He started P22, I want to say. Where is he now? He's up there at P11, if you don't mind. He's had a great start. Well spotted by Pingu. There's a couple of movers and shakers. Steam Camp up there in P13. Sean rightly pointing out before that he wasn't even on the bloody board at qualifying, so he's come from wherever he was, behind P23, and he's up there in P13. He's had a great start as well. Barker's done very nicely. He's moved up a spot and currently holding the purple lap. So he's really good in the wet, is Mr. Barker. That top 5 looking pretty solid. Not a lot of movement up there. Jacoman, Diong, Seneca, Signet, and Real all were up there. Maybe 1 or 2 swaps. I'm not sure exactly where they all started, but they're certainly the same 5. Jacob Weatherburn recovering from his spin in qualifying, currently up there in P8, doing nicely. Yeah, but a couple of real movers there, obviously navigating the first couple of laps really well. James and Steenkamp. And yeah, Gibbo not losing out too badly in P22 as we take a look at his replay. So we did see him having a bit of an issue at one point. I'm not sure if this is a replay of that. It is. I would suggest he's got a little tap on the bum there. And he was, yeah, P7. So did lose a fair chunk of positions. But to still be in P22 is not a bad result considering how bunched up the field was and how long he would have had to have waited.
Safety car is coming in this lap, so we're prepared to go racing again. Looks like everyone is bunched up other than car 5. So that's unfortunate for whoever is in car 5. Looks like G. Coleman's gone there.
Ooh,
a little bit earlier than what we saw in the dry. Clean restart this time around. Just look that 3 wide on the start finish straight. Oh my goodness.
Got to get this sorted out before Druids, 100%. A couple of late dives there, looks. Nice clean exit out of Druids. This is really important. This next 2 corners are super important, especially on an opening lap. Even with the safety car, you've got to nail Graham Hill and you've absolutely got to nail Surtees. You don't want to leave yourself vulnerable for the plunge down Pilgrim's Drop. Take that inside curve and really gentle on the throttle, eggshell style stuff. I'm bored with Johan at the moment. Chasing Hall there in the Bentley. Spray everywhere. This will be blind into Hawthorn. This is real brave pill stuff. Tailey on the exit with that exit of Bentley. Wow, wait.
Quick to Bentley there. Spray as well. Almost no visibility.
Oh,
that's the grass.
Huge moment there at Sheen.
There is no grip out there in the dry, let alone the wet. Those sandpits do an excellent job of pulling cars up, though. So manages to keep it out of the wall. But yeah, we're on board with him as it's just so deadly. Even the slightest touch of that painted line and then the grass, and the car just gets sucked out. So a little bit of an error. It drops him a few spots back, but as I said, the sandpit managed to keep him going. Tell you what, that's Barker out there going a little wide, I think. But managing to hold off Love.
You can sort of get away with that in these conditions. So we see a replay. Something here, a little bit of a nose to tail.
So I think this is what kicked off the safety car, is all these oh yeah, this would be it. So you were watching this in the second monitor as they all came through here and they all got together, and there's a few brakes not being held there. A couple of cars backwards, and the stewards just thought, right, in these conditions, better off if we just let them sort it all out under safety car. So that's what we saw.
Yeah, said if you're not holding their brakes there might be some penalties dished out. Big no-no, particularly in these conditions when you can just slide absolutely anywhere.
Nice battle brewing here between Real, Barker, Love and Weatherburn. We've got all three classes represented, so we've got 2 Pro-Ams, an Am and a Pro, so this is fantastic. All British manufacturers as well, doing the Union Jack grab. G. Coleman pops in a 32.9 in torrential conditions. I did see Race Control pop up a thing saying rain easing in 30. I bet you every driver saw that one. Oh, that's great. Considering there's only 20 minutes left of the race.
It'll certainly help them for super qualifying, though, coming up. We'll have the top 12 reversed, and then everyone from 13 down will get a crack at what is probably going to be a damp track. Probably still sort of moist-ish.
Oh, our leader's bit. Oh, G. Coleman. Currently in third, so he's had a massive moment there. He's lost the lead of the race, which has handed our championship leader position 1 at the moment. Hopefully we get a replay of that.
Here it is. So it was down at a turn 1. He's been putting in purple lap after purple lap, but the rear end has come around and he just hasn't been able to catch it. So hasn't lost out too much. I tell you what, these cars here have done a very nice job. That's Jean-Pierre Chazankas doing an excellent reactionary job there. Coming downhill, the braking performance would be next to nil, trying to avoid a situation like that. So he's done very well. And his reward is P2 in front of Giacomin. So we'll see how he manages to hold off Luca, who is clearly very quick in the wet. But this is Dave Barker. David looking also very strong in the wet. Of course, the McLaren is pretty tidy in the wet, and you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 McLarens in the top 10. So the strength of that car in the wet really coming to the shore here. Yeah, David in particular looks like he's got a really nice handle on it. And absolutely destroying all of his M-Class competitors at the moment. I'm not sure how many there are in this split, but there's none on screen at the moment. He's banging it in P6, so great effort for him as Denny Lynn picks up a 15-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 4.
That's a fair whack.
Yeah, it's a serious collision for a big 15. There's a couple other penalties that have filtered through as well. Amanto's also got himself 15, and Zachary James, after moving up from a long way down the field, currently in P9, but he's got a 5-second penalty. Luca gets a 5-second for that unsafe rejoin that we saw a replay of. Obviously, as we said, Jean-Pierre having to get his spider sensors going to avoid him, so Luca copping 5 seconds for that rejoin.
Oh, I love that tree shot. One of my favourite shots in the game. Meddings here, currently down in 20th position in the Lambo.
tight.
Very close.
Not a lot
Tell
of
you
room.
Where's Amanto gone? Because this is Meddings chasing Godfrey. You're absolutely right. Amanto on the leaderboard is supposed to be between them, so not sure if he's alongside these two or what. But Meddings has gone up the inside there. He's got the crossover done very nicely. Amanto is right there, and he's also going to get one going up the inside of Godfrey. So as they come across the line, Godfrey loses out, gets swallowed up by both of those cars on track. Now that's Denny Lynn coming through. That is Denny Lynn coming through in the Mercedes. My apologies. I saw a Mercedes. Amanto has pitted, yes. So, yeah, a couple of moves there done. As I said, Godfrey losing out a little bit there. But that's Denny Lynn coming through. And as you said, Bryce Meddings, that lovely crisscross move out the end of Clark Curve. Doing it very nicely. Thoughts on this livery? Looks like a very NVIDIA livery, just quietly. I like it. He's got the NVIDIA on the wing, and they are NVIDIA colours. I wonder if that's what he's going for. Kermit's creeping. No, it's a Kermit livery. Okay.
Before you read the team name, you had me sold, mate.
Yep, I thought Nvidia all the way, but Kermit, not feeling the Kermit needs more green. Or maybe rainbow, if you know what I'm talking about.
Speaking of green, here's Zachary James in a frog. And he looked like he got a little bit wide there at Sheen, so doesn't look like it's cost him any positions, but now Mr. Barbecue Buns is right up his clacker. And with 5 seconds to his name, Zachary James will be looking to recreate the gap he had after what was a very, very good start. As we said, he was down at P22, I believe, so must have been very lucky during that first lap or two as a couple spun off and he's managed to carve his way through the field. A couple of penalties coming through now. Clinton Love grabbing one. Tom Sanderson grabbing a 10-second. So, yeah, the wet just getting a few people uncomfortable. And we haven't seen many of these incidents, but you would assume that they are pretty significant because, yeah, 10 seconds and 15 seconds, that's not a light tap. There's some pretty significant penalties.
Arbel's in chat with a bit of an interesting theory, saying tracks that are bad for racing in the dry are almost always better in the wet. What do you guys think?
Interesting. Yes and no. This one definitely, I would agree, because people are cautious in the dry, so in the wet they're more cautious. But I don't know. I find in the wet sometimes there's some more alternate lines. Tracks like Bathurst, no. I did 3 stints in the rain at Bathurst. No, you can take that. I don't want any part of that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm right with you in that boat. I did all my stints in the wet too. I'm just having all the dry weather racing at Bathurst, and I love Bathurst, so I agree. Diabols, as to your point, yeah, if they're bad for racing, you need something to spice them up. And I guess if you threw a big fat load of rain at Alton Park, for example, another track that people don't really like for its racing, in another track that's good for hot lapping but not good for racing, if you threw a bunch of rain at it, I'm sure it would be a more exciting race. So I think your point's valid.
Well, I look at the great example, which is the Monaco Grand Prix. When it's dry, boring as race, but add some water and it always puts on a barnstorm.
Yeah, Monaco's a great shout. Like, it really turns it into a war of attrition. Like, who can concentrate the longest, who's got their setup down pat, who can keep it out of the wall the longest and survive. So, you know, not necessarily creating a bunch of overtakes, but certainly making the race more interesting in terms of, you know, who can get the job done today. And Monaco obviously already being a track that is known for being a bit of a war in the head more than a war on track.
Well, Mr. Withers here. Every time I see that name, I think of Smithers from The Simpsons. In that.
I think the same thing.
Withers.
Another question from the chat from Ultimate Local. What track is your best and worst for wet weather racing?
Before the weekend, I loved Bathurst in the wet. So I will stick with that because I'm probably just a little bit crushed by what happened on the weekend. So, oh, that's pretty wide.
Oh, that's very
That's
wide.
Tom Sanderson getting a little bit drifty in turn 1. Managed to save it, keep going straight. Probably loses out of position there, I'd suggest, but a little bit of an error there. George Fowler grabbing 15 seconds for dangerous driving on lap 2. I'd say that's not holding the brakes, as you spotted, Bender. As you said, the penalties are hefty for that sort of thing. Yeah, if you've got into a spin, ladies and gentlemen, rookies, sprint drivers alike, if you're in there in chat, hold your goddamn brakes if you have a spin. And again, it's hard. If someone else has caused you to spin, it can be pretty hard to jam on the brakes and accept your fate. But yeah, if you don't hold your brakes and you cause an extra collision, the stewards will come down pretty severely. And we've seen that for George there. I would suggest that's what that one's for. Here comes Gibbo up the inside. That is ambitious if he wants to have a crack down there.
Was always going to happen.
Yeah, it's not a corner for overtaking. He was well up alongside, but I'm not going to pretend to steward that one. I'll let the stewards handle that. It certainly wasn't a dive. It did look like he was up alongside, but again, not really a corner for overtaking, as you rightly pointed out, Sean.
Yeah, Westfield, Sheen, definitely not overtaking corners. You can do it. I have seen moves done on the outside of Hawthorn. It does require both drivers to be on the same page, but I have seen that done before. Zachary James in the frog, which should be really good in these conditions, considering it is a frog.
It's amphibious nature. It should be pretty handy. Yeah, it's spot on. Good call.
Yeah, just hop around, take a few shortcuts.
I'm surprised he's in the frog, to be honest. All his mates in the paddle pop racing, Bender. I figured he would have got that memo and switched over to the paddle pop racing livery, but obviously sticking with the frog for tonight. Not sure whether he just didn't get it in time or whether he's sticking with that, but I think it's actually a different colour than the one he ran last week, so I think he might have changed it.
Yeah, not sure. Maybe he missed the memo.
Yeah, that's a Kermit colour right there.
Did you see all the paddle pop racing liveries last race, Sean? Were you spectating that one? You're a massive fan of bright colours.
Oh, they were just amazing. Yeah, fantastic.
He said, dripping with sarcasm.
Fair play though, they actually do look like a rainbow paddle pop, so they've actually nailed that part, so I'll give them that.
Good Ryan Duron. He responds to Giacomo. Takes back past lap 31.8. That's great in these conditions. And we can see rain easing in 10 minutes. Just updated, so maybe it will get a little bit faster toward the last lap or two.
He's holding a 3.6 second advantage with Giacomo carrying a 5-second invoice as well. So based on those numbers, I'm not very good at numbers, but that would move JP into second spot.
Yep, he'll appreciate those extra points for Peach as you said, Sean, he's right behind Ryan Duong in the table at the moment. So he won't want to lose too many more points considering Ryan currently holds the purple lap. But as you said, Bender, that purple lap probably going to get beaten again and again as we go through these last 10 minutes. The tyres taking a lot longer to warm up in these conditions, so they're just starting to get there now, and certainly no dry line being formed in these super wet conditions, but drivers just getting more acclimatised to it and being a little bit more brave on their inputs. We'll probably beat that time a couple more times in the last couple of minutes.
The championships winners and losers. Johan's going to cop a bit of a whack around the ear here. Currently down in 21st position. He's third in the championship at the moment, so he'll definitely have to put his head down for a cracking race too and try and make up some positions.
Sean, I know you said you're not great at maths, but try and work out who's currently P12, will you? Have a look at all those penalties that have got to be worked out. My brain ain't going to be able to figure that. So
I'm just going to go on a limb here and say Barbecue Buns, old Mr. Rio, is going to move up quite a few spots. Really nice.
Yeah, he will. spot on. He'll go from 9 up to sort of 6th or something.
Oh,
There goes
front's
Zachary
gone.
James around egos again. So, not quite. He's had a couple of escapades already, has Ogold. So, not quite. And he usually loves the wet. So, that's interesting to me. Might be another one who just hasn't done a lot of practice, certainly not in the wet. Obviously, winning the Bathurst 12-hour did the man, so he's got the pace. He's clearly a very fast man. So, a few issues tonight. Just probably not quite getting wet practice at Brands in that particular specification. Nice little move there from Tom Sanderson on. I think that's Bartlett. I think he's held that position from Bartlett. I don't think it was a move. In fact, that's not Bartlett because that's an Aston. It's Velasquez. So Velasquez got past Bartlett and then had a little battle with Sanderson, but Sanderson managed to hold position. As Jacoman goes purple again.
With us at the moment, currently in 10th position, who will move up spots based on all the invoices handed out. As Russell Hall cops a 5-second penalty for causing collision on lap 11. So more invoices and audit time at the ATO.
Can you still pay for those with Apple iTunes cards?
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that our OOR community, they're all very clever people, and there'd be no one silly enough in chat to fall for that trap, to get a text message from some random number and say you have an ATO debt and here's how you can pay it with iTunes gift cards. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just don't think the OOR community's got that in.
I don't think the OR community's got it within them, but you never know. Some of these scams these days are highly sophisticated, and you just think if these people actually applied themselves to a normal 9-to-5 job, they could actually be a productive member of society, but not the case.
I'm just not going to say anything on that because I have very strong opinions. I hate scams. Anyway, moving on, racing. Currently 13th is Mr. Bartlett.
Brave.
Very bright.
Well,
He's
he
got the
behaved
position
himself.
though.
And because he behaved himself, he got the position. Nice work, David Bartlett.
He forced Velasquez to take a defensive line and leave the space on the inside, which when he ran wide on the exit, Bartlett to sneak through into P12, the magic number for reverse grid pole position. He gets loose coming out the last corner onto the start-finish straight. Velasquez is going to have a look on the outside. Ferrari versus Aston Power. Aston's just going to hold on. And there's Gibbons in the background lurking in P14. I'm sure he hopes he
Velasquez not done here. Velasquez up the inside. Got a great exit out of turn 1. Got on the anchors late into turn 2. Gets a move done. And Gibbo!
Oh, dear.
Hold your brakes.
Hold the brakes.
Bartlett, hold your brakes. Oh, God. Oh, so that's an interesting one, right? Didn't cause any collisions, but if someone called that out, I wonder if the stewards would penalise that for not holding his brakes. I'm not sure.
I think it's okay if you're rolling off the track to not hold the brakes, because you're then moving off the track. It's if you don't hold them and then you move back onto the track that's the issue.
Yeah, again, I know there was no cars in the vicinity and it didn't cause an issue, but he was rolling back onto the racing line. So, I mean, to me, yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm not a steward, not going to pretend how it goes, but yeah, it looked like could have been dangerous if someone was coming around there. Anyway, no harm, no foul. We carry on. But yeah, that's Gibbo and Bartlett coming together, and they were around about that 12-13 mark. Again, really hard to work out who's going to finish P12 once all those penalties get filtered in. David Barkey here holding one of those penalties. We get a replay here. Velasquez doing really nicely up into turn 2, getting the move done, and Bartlett going pretty wide. And yeah, Gibbo just giving him a little tap on the rear quarter. Yeah, Bender for me, that's pretty dangerous.
It's a bit of a slam dunk for mine.
Yeah, again, I understand if he's trying to get off the track, but again, if you've got to cross the racing line to do that. Oh, there's another one around there. That was Jacob Weatherburn doing a spin king, as it is known. Manages to keep it going pretty quickly, so it doesn't lose out too badly. And the The two positions he did lose are holding 5 and 10 seconds respectively. So probably doesn't lose anything there with 3 minutes to go. He probably manages to hold that gap. Oh dear.
Oh,
That's a
dear.
hard hit from Johan, yeah.
Johan.
Oh, you can tell the damage there too.
I don't think we saw that long enough. Oh, Sanderson,
Ah, Bender, it's all kicking up.
Vasquez, yeah, they're all looking on around. But I think Steenkamp there, he tried to go dummy the inside, then move back to the outside. He just can't do that in these conditions. There we go. We've also got light rain as we've got identical fastest laps. Is that what's happened? We've got purple P1 and P2.
Looks that way.
Is that a thing? We cut to the replay. Who's this? Sanderson. Sandeasy. He's going to have a bit of an excursion off track.
Very easy to do that.
Oh,
He's come back. Oh, no. That was always a gap of diminishing returns. Everyone looks like they got through cleanly, which is surprising through there because you do come through there slightly blind out of Surtees. But Ryan Jurong, another fantastic performance. He's going to extend his championship lead. G. Coleman in second, some valuable points. Peach there in third as well. Valuable points for him as well in the championship.
Apologies, don't mean to butt in, but is Duong currently holding a purple lap while Giacomin is also holding a purple lap?
yeah, we said that about a minute ago, mate.
My apologies.
We think that's what's happening.
Right. So I don't know where I was a minute ago, but I've just spotted that.
Yeah, off in a different space-time dimension, mate. It's all right.
Right then.
Look, I was reading chat. Vias Vavudu is in chat. He's let us know that he couldn't make the race tonight due to some issues that he's currently holding, and I'm loving the support he's getting. Jan Diabols and a few others getting behind him. Moritz there as well. So love that, and we hope you get better soon. Whatever's going on there, mate, let us know. Always reach out. The OOR community is a beautiful place. So send any one of us a DM, and I'm sure you'll get something back, giving you a bit of support. So we hope to see you back next week. And yeah, everyone give him a little hug.
I mean, almost disappointingly, Ryan Juang went 200ths faster that time around to set a new fastest lap, which broke an interesting tie, which would have actually liked to have seen happen. I don't think there's been a tie for fastest lap before.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah, maybe they both had exactly the same lap time. Is that? Sorry, did I miss that a minute ago as well?
Yeah, I believe that's what happened.
Wow.
They set identical fastest laps of the race.
So what happens to the point then? Do we give them both a point?
Well, not now because Juwan's just taken that fastest
Juang's
lap.
just gone.
Oh, hypothetically
faster.
though, hypothetically, what, do we split the point? I'd like race control to let us know what happens in that scenario. That's, as I said, I know it's not the case now, but hypothetically, that's a very interesting scenario. Do you split the point, or do you give them both an equal share of full points? Yeah, I don't know.
I think you'd both just give them full points.
Anyway, it'll be Ryan Juong who comes across the line here in P1 in the wet. That's and he goes bang fastest. He just consolidates that purple lap and then has a red hot crack at drifting turn 1 in celebration. That's a great effort. Giacomin comes across the line in P2, but we'll see if this is 5 seconds gap to Senekis. Might have been just over 5 seconds. Yeah, he's just got him. Look at that, 5.1 seconds. So Giacomin holds on to P2. Senekis will come home in P3. Watching a battle here with Mike Reel on barbecue buns type of scenarios, getting up behind Zachary James, who's also holding 5 seconds. So you would suggest he'll grab that position. But it was Hignett in P4, Love and Barker in 5 and 6 respectively. Spin Kings Weatherburn coming home in P7, Waylon Smithers in P8, Zachary James and Mike Reel will cross the line in 9th and 10th, but Mike Reel will get him for points. I thought maybe those penalties just haven't been sorted out yet. And so, yeah, I think Mike Reel will grab P9. Here's Gibbo. He's probably had a race to forget. He's had a couple of little touches and nudges and spins and whatnot in that Nissan, who Alex told us when he joined us for Split Yellow, that Nissan's a very hard car to handle at the best of times. So in the wet, probably not its natural habitat. And as you said, Sean, this is going to hurt Steenkamp's points table immensely.
The Nissan's one of the best cars in the wet.
Is it? Oh, all right. Well, what do I know, Bender? What do I know?
Oh, I'm not sure,
I'll tell you
mate.
what I don't know. Who won that race?
What do you know, mate?
Um,
There's an easier question for you. What do you know?
I know that the weather is clear and there's no rain on the horizon, and it's not even a
Oh.
wet track. It is a green track. So we've gone from wet to dry conditions. The cars will need to create the optimum line for themselves, and these qualifying laps will not be the super duper optimum pace we've come to expect from these drivers, but it is dry, so they will be loving that.
So it's almost a last driver across the line situation will have the best track conditions. Also, might have missed it right at the end of the race there. Saw a penalty pop up as well, but race control did confirm that if there was a tie in fastest laps, both drivers would be awarded full points. Eyeballs and chat asking, wasn't there a time in Formula One qualifying where there was a three-way tie for pole? Yes, it was. It was the 1997 season finale at the European Grand Prix at Jerez, and it was between was it Jacques Villeneuve, Heinz-Harald Frentzen, and Michael Schumacher. Yep, and whoever said it first got pole position. I think it was Frentzen. No, probably Villeneuve. It was one of the Williams that set the fastest time first.
Straight to the top of the class, sir. Well done. I remember that because I watched that race live, that qualifying live.
So I wasn't watching stuff live at that point. I was still getting my dad to record on VHS and watch it back the next day. It's well and truly past my bedtime.
Of course, Formula One testing is going on at the moment.
Is it?
So testing? No. It's a pre-season 3-day shakedown. Let's use the official sponsored name.
Sorry. It's testing, ladies and gentlemen.
No, yeah, it is testing. Just no coverage because Bahrain paid some money to get the official test. Yep.
What happened to the good old days with the good old Barcelona test? That was, you knew Formula One season was around the corner when the Barcelona test happened.
Money.
Yeah.
Look, just very quickly on this while we wait for time to start coming in. If Bahrain wants to pay official rights to have the first viewing of the cars on track, why not just make Bahrain the first test and have Barcelona the second test and actually still broadcast both of them like people have paid for streaming services to watch them? You know? Rather than just screw the fans over and only broadcast the second one.
Because are they therefore paying to move all the teams from Europe out of Europe to Bahrain and then send them back to Europe even before the race, like the first race kicks off? So I guess like the teams have they've got to pay all the expenses to get over to Bahrain, and then they've got to go all the way back home and then go down to Spain, which is much easier, all for little to no gain for obviously championship points and whatnot.
I'm sure dollars aren't really an option for Formula One. I'm sure that should have not counting pennies.
I feel like if you're sponsoring a test, have it the exclusive first look of the cars, then you know, some of that sponsorship money that you're bringing in, you can then swing the team's way to, you know, incentivize them to actually go there. So obviously that makes too much sense for people involved.
Agreed. I think we can all agree on Ferrari win the livery war. Job done. Thanks for coming.
Hey, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I really like the Alpine livery. Alpine. And people are going to hate me for that because there's been a lot of hate for it in the Discord.
In the Racing Point car.
It's an Alpine with pink on it. I'll tell you why I love it though. I don't know if it's only for 2 races. Is that right? They're only just racing it for 2 races. Anyway,
Something like that.
it's got my daughter back in F1. She loved the Racing Point livery when it was flat pink, and she'd watch some highlights with me, and she's like, "Where's my pink car? How's it going?" She totally lost interest last season. Didn't get her stuff because there was no pink car. So I showed her the livery, and she said, "Yep, I approve. It's got a little bit of blue, a little bit of pink." She's happy with it. So I think it's a nice one. So anyone who hates it, you can all get stuff.
As Johan goes top of the time sheet to the 25-2. Very important here for Johan. They really... Oh, as Hermat... I'd butcher one tonight. Hermanto goes to the top now with a 24-9. That's a very good lap on a green track at the moment. The track has just ticked over to fast, though. So we should see the times tumbling down.
As you said, Bender, that track evolution, it'll come into play. We'll see times get quicker and quicker. Send Easy posts a nice little lap there, only 2/10 off the top. It was only 2/10 off the top. Now it's 8/10 off the top. Steenkamp goes bang, puts himself up there with a 24. Nice lap. So back to the testing, which is currently in, where'd you say it was? Spain at the moment, and then it goes to Bahrain. Do we have any vision? Do we have any highlights? Do we have like the teams releasing little YouTube clips of it whatsoever? I want to see these new cars on track. Have we got a chance to do that, or nothing at all?
Been checking the old Twitter feed because that's where you get most of my sports information. We are getting little teasers here and there. The times have been posted and that. Ferrari was quickest, hashtag just saying. So currently it is Leclerc, Charles on top from Georgie Russell, and Lando there in third position at the moment.
The young gap.
Yes. And quite a significant gap actually between the Ferrari and George. So very surprising, which is cool. So if those guys are looking, if you are looking for content on the testing, the race on Twitter, follow them. They are providing really great updates.
You've also done a great car reveal series on YouTube, breaking down differences in tech specs, if you're into that sort of thing.
Well, the Red Bull looks completely different from the car they've shown in their livery launch.
It's got no side pods.
Yep.
So we see Johan Steenkamp go fastest there. 24.7, 1 minute 15 remaining.
So very important for Johan here to really get a good qualifying, put himself in a good position to make up some points after a bit of a disastrous race one. Up there in third, nice job by him. I haven't called his name much tonight, actually.
Mr. Shervitz.
Shervitz. There you go, I'm getting there.
Like a chair from Vietnam. Chair Viets.
That works, yep.
I just call him Bush Chook.
I do like that livery though, the black and the red with a bit of grey. Being an Essendon man myself, that ticks all my boxes.
Yep, agreed. Did you watch us against the Doggies today? Very nice we got up there. I know it's only a practice match, but I was very happy with that.
Very happy, and then we signed young Tex Wangadine as well, straight after. So
we did actually sign him because he had a banging quarter. He kicked a couple of goals.
We did sign him, so great to see another good father-son at the greatest football club in the world.
Bendy, you're a Bomber man too, aren't you? We're all Bombers in here.
Hey, no, I don't follow AFL.
What? Well, now you're a Bomber man. I'll buy you a membership. There.
In the wrong state for that anyway, mate.
No. It doesn't matter what state you're in. If you've got no team, I've assigned you a team. Anyway, Steenkamp went bang. He went purple, and then he went purple again. He beat his own lap. So he's up there in P1. P1 in this qualifying, which makes him P13.
Clearly, race control's not happy with that.
What? Well, what? Tasmania didn't even have a team, so what are you... What? Who do you back for? Race control? Who's that backwards? I thought he was going the right way, and he just stopped on track, but Gibbo comes around and might be still posting a lap here. He is definitely still on track, so this is going to be a lap. Let's see what it does for him. He's only 4/10 behind pole. Again, I say pole. This is for P13. Doesn't improve, so he's up there. So he's talking to Bender. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Bender. Get a team.
Well, I used to follow the Adelaide Crows, but all the rule changes and different interpretations of rules within a quarter of a game just pissed me off, so I stopped following it about 10 years ago, maybe, just before we made the grand final. So.
That explains everything.
Oh, it's wet again. It's raining again.
Oh, wow. Here we go.
And it's gone straight to wet, too. Like, there's no greasy damp, none of that crap. It is straight wet.
No, but this is interesting. Rain is easing in 10 minutes, and it's going to be dry in 30. So, depending on the timing of that, that could be very interesting towards the last half of the race.
Quick question: do certain tracks dry quicker than other tracks in ACC? I'm not 100% sure on that.
I believe it's down to the weather conditions more so
Yeah.
than the actual track.
I mean, a shorter track would probably dry, like given the same conditions across all tracks. Let's say, for example, scientifically, they all have laboratory conditions, like they're all literally the same conditions. Wouldn't you think a shorter track would have a better chance of drying quicker as they are shorter laps and there's more cars on that part of the track more often? I think
But it
that
also,
might be a thing.
but it also could come down to the topography of the track, the tarmac, what type of tarmac it is. Is it smooth tarmac, rough tarmac? Is there certain rivers that run across the track where other tracks there's no rivers, drainage on the side of the tracks? I think that's all. I think that's it.
Yeah, like does the top of the mountain of Bathurst dry quicker than, say, the bottom of Rouge and Radion?
That's true. Good point. Tasty T would like you to say laboratory again, please, JC.
Laboratory.
Very good.
20 seconds.
What did I say? I probably butchered. I probably said that laboratory or something.
As always, guys, if you are watching, smash that like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Hope you are enjoying Wednesday evening's events here at OOR. Of course, this is the Sprint Series. We've had split yellow early on. This is split green for race 2, which is very exciting. Reverse grid action, of course, which always adds a little bit more pepper. And then to add a bit more habanero, we're throwing some rain in as well. The banana safety car takes off, the Maserati. Big kudos to that safety car driver.
Yeah, agreed. Tricky conditions. Race director calling the drivers through now, setting up the grid manually, of course, here in race 2. Tell you what, as we said, I don't envy the calculations going on. The abacus is out, the Excel spreadsheets all have to click together, trying to work out all those penalties and reverse this grid correctly. So I think that's a Ferrari up there at the front. So I think that's Velasquez who's going to lead us away in P1. And I want to say there was a frog in P3, so that's probably Zachary James. Maybe with Barbecue Bun Mike Reel behind him. Who's P2 there? Is that a Lexus or a Honda? Or a Nissan? Or a Ferrari? Or a Porsche? Or an Audi? No,
McLaren,
P3. Sorry, P2. Then it's a Nissan in P2 there.
Nissan in P2. Then a gaggle of McLarens.
So they've sorted themselves out now. It's Mark Bushell. A very generous man is he. Hamster being a lovely gentleman, donating 50 in the split yellow chat. So he comes away with a nice little starting position up there in P2. As we said, Zachary James, Mike Reel, and Chris Withers, along with David Parker, a little line of McLarens there, yeah, behind him. And Hignett, Love, Weatherburn, and Senekis will round out the top 10 as we get underway.
I'm really looking forward to this one. It's just got something about it already. It's got a bit of a smell about it. I think we're going to see some real action here.
Well, I can tell you're G'd up for it. I can tell you're ready for this one. So I want you to lead me away into turn 1. I want you to get your spice on and call it all the way through the first sector. Tell us what happened.
Well, here we go. They are lining up double file here. So race direction has made a call here on the double file restart. So I'm calling safety car early. So it'll be Velasquez who's going to lead them away from pole. Bushell in second, Zachary James in third, and Mr. Mike Reel Barbecue Buns. So they come through Clark now, just getting themselves organised, getting themselves settled. They're going to head down Bravham Straight. This is a race 2 for split green in the OOR Sprint Series from the beautiful Brands Hatch in the Garden of England. So wait to hit to the control line now. Long hold, long pause, still waiting, and we are racing. And it looked like a bit of 3-wide action there from the Frog there as they head down into Paddock Hill. Oh, sideways there from Bushell.
There goes Bushell.
Straight away. Wowee. So head up now towards Druids, 3 wide. Really got to sort themselves out here. But it looks like Velasquez has held the inside line beautifully through there. But look at this. Bushels, we had a bit of a think about it, but just didn't get the traction there. Bit of carnage in the background.
Better death back there.
Is that Johan off again? Steenkamp is
Safety car's coming out. There it is. Well called by you. You absolutely said there would be a safety car, and it took them 3 corners. Well said.
10 litres on it.
So, yeah, Velasquez had a good start, as you said. Nice work through turn 1. What gave Mark Bushell a wave on his way through as he flew off into the sandpit. Just a little bit too hot into turn 1 was Mr. Bushell. So, not sure how far back through the field he fell, but it will be a very large handful of positions. Mike Reel doing very nicely to grab up P2, and I think it's Zachary James behind him in P3. So, big gaggle of McLarens up there, but it is the Ferrari that leads us away. Nice work,
Mike Reel, hasn't he had some evening? He's done really well tonight. Been really impressed with his drive so far. Of course, Johan, we did see Johan go off again, so another sad face for him. That's going to really put a big dent into his championship at the moment. Well, that's what rain does, and that's what Brands Hatch does.
It throws up unpredictability. Either hurt you or help you. I mean, benefit for Johan is there's still 28 minutes to go. So anything can happen. It's a long way back.
So it is a Ferrari leading from the McLaren Cup. Look at all those McLarens. Wowee. A couple of Bentleys and more McLarens, and we'll throw in a Lexus and a Mercedes just because for diversity.
That makes it sound like we've got quotas to hit.
Of course, the McLaren is one of the most popular cars in OOR and in ACC in general. It is a nice car to drive. I spent 12 hours in it on Sunday, but as of Monday morning, I went back to my old white hip girl, beautiful Porsche. But it is a Ferrari leading the way, which is great to see. Velasquez, he had a pretty nice race one. A couple of little moments, but he got through cleanly. He's looking to really put his authority on this one. Of course, got some pretty big hitters there in 9th and 10th. G. Coleman and Peach, or Sneakers, as his pronunciation is. I believe I've got that one right as well. I'm on fire tonight. Loving it. And we've got Hermanto, Harding, and and good old Gibbo. Safety car coming in this lap now. So hopefully these guys get themselves sorted out. Nice single file restart. Get through Paddock Hill and Druids. Ooh, really close here. Someone wants to get a jump early. Oh, Zachary James in the frog. Really keen to get past Mike Reel as quickly as he can. And he's going to try and send it at... Oh, he doesn't though. He thought about sending it there at Paddock Hill. Very brave. Heading up now towards Druids. Highest part of the circuit. Now plunge down towards Graham Hill. Really tricky corner, this one. I call it a nothing corner. You forget about it and it can bite you very hard. Zachary James, Mike Reel. Got a bit of a gap there, actually. He's chasing after Velasquez, but this is a nice battle here between James, Weatherburn and Withers. Good exit out of Surtees. Really important now as they plumb down Pilgrim's Drop. To go back through the field. Looks like everyone has got through nice and cleanly, which is great to see.
Yeah, a bit of battling happening here. There's a couple too wide. Someone getting a bit crossed up coming out of turn 4, I think, and up the straight they go. That's our Nvidia Honda doing nicely to pull that up, but got a compromised exit and the McLaren comes back. That's Chikoman, who's clearly very quick in the wet, so he gets that spot back. Nice driving from both drivers, really. Nice clean battle. Another one happening up ahead between Gibbo and Lynn. Giacomin closing up behind Godfrey now. Giacomin clearly, look, he's got the pace. You can tell he's got a really good handle on that car, using all the track, confident on the curbs. Curbs usually pretty wet. Sorry, pretty weak in the wet. Yeah, he's just got those right. Gets a little bit tail happy around the last corner, so that's going to cost him on the way down turn 1. Gibbo looking like he's got, sorry, that's Bartlett looking like he's got the run now on Godfrey. So we'll see him go down the inside. He's going to be very aggressive on the braking down there and doesn't quite get it done. So Godfrey holding on nicely. As Duong goes quickest with the 31.8. I'm sure we'll see that smashed a couple of times. This battle continues.
Normally works that over and under in the dry. In the wet, it's a little bit trickier. Oh, a slight touch there.
Yeah, a little kiss.
Should have the optimum position there when it's duties, and he does. Nice move. Zachary James just starting to put the pressure on the top two at the moment. They have skipped away to a little gap here. Move through the field. Page now up to 8th position. He's driving his way through the field. We saw this on Sunday as well. When this guy gets his head down, he can pump out robotic style laps. He's the master of the comeback.
If you haven't seen it, been on weather watch, it's just ticked over to dry in 10 minutes. So we'll have about 13 minutes, 14 minutes of dry running, or say dry running, at least no rain falling. The track will still be wet, of course, but that should really make it interesting the last 10 or so minutes.
Yeah, reasonably dry line potentially forming, or at least a greasy line. And yeah, as you said, if there's any battles, especially on these wet tyres, if those wet tyres get a little bit warm and get a little bit slipperier, they'll all be looking to take wider lines, trying to cool them down where the standing water might still exist. But yeah, so looking forward to that, Ben. A good call. Last 13 minutes, getting a little bit spicy. But we're on board with Barker here, who had a great race 1. And doing very nicely for himself here too. He's right in the middle of the, well, he's at the back of the McLaren line. Giacomin. A little penalty there for Giacomin. I thought that was with his battling with Giacomin, but I think Giacomin and Barker have a pretty similar livery. So Barker comes back down the inside here. He's right up alongside now, and we've seen this go really badly tonight. But they both managed to get that done pretty cleanly. Nice work from both of those. Withers now under pressure from the Bentley behind Hall. And got through right there as well. That's very wide. That's very wide. So Withers losing out big time here. He just got all sorts of crossed up a couple of corners ago, and that compromised his line and didn't quite get it right for the next corner as well. So he's lost 4 spots there. 3 or 4, well, 4 this lap, I think. But yeah, Barker doing very nicely tonight for the AM class.
Bit of a train following up here behind the Bentley of Clinton Love. So he's right behind him. He'll be patient, wait for his opportunity. And behind him is Sanderson in the silver bullet. Do like that. Really big fan of that. Oh,
big handful.
Whoa, all crossed up.
It's a good save. Great save in these conditions. Just the front there. Velazquez and Real just dropping Zach James a bit. We've got a few gaps back to this road train that's just chugging along.
Some of these drivers might have just looked at the conditions as well and just trying to plan their opportunities, and don't want to use that wet tyre too much too early because she could get a bit spicy towards the end.
A lot of drivers who would have learnt from the first race too, and they might have just thought, you know, I didn't quite get my setup right in the first race. And they might have made some changes. Whether or not they were the right changes or wrong changes was still to see, but I'm sure there would have been a couple of drivers just thought, I could have used a bit of extra rear grip, or they might have dropped an extra wing on there. I'm sure everyone's max wing anyway at Brands Hatch, but maybe lifted the nose a little bit. I think there would have been a few drivers that just said, I can do something differently here. Barker's managed to get another move done. He's up there at P5 at the moment, but this is Mr. Sandeezy. Stillon goes quickest again with a 1:30. He's putting in some very hot laps from back there in P19. He's now 2/10 behind Bartlett, so that run will stop. Sandeezy holding a very nice line through the first sector here, just quietly. But he's behind Jean-Pierre Senecas.
Change up the front. Barbecue Buns is in the lead from Velasquez. Look at that. Oh, but Velasquez is going to fight back now as they down. Pilgrim's drop. Oh, this is too wide into Hawthorn. Oh, hold your breath. Oh, he's got to go around the outside. Oh, surely not.
Wow.
Oh, that's stunning.
Wow.
What a move.
Hello.
Who needs to do that? Well, look, this has brought Zach James right in the mix now. It was just over 1.2 seconds back. Now he's right on the rear wing of Velasquez.
Right at Roy in HD. Hello, boys. That's what that was. What a move.
Yeah, beautiful call from you too, Sean. Play-by-play. Excellent racing. Velasquez on debut. So, yeah, currently in the silver class there. I didn't know whether that was a livery thing or what, but that is, from race control, a fact. Velasquez on debut, so interesting to see where he gets placed in class next week as we head to Suzuka. Clearly got some very strong pace in the wet. Nice sharp little livery there too from Michael.
Definitely come to play. He's got some wet weather skills. This is why I love wet weather racing. It just, you can just see the natural sort of feel that people have. It really does separate certain drivers in real life and in on the sim as well. I just love wet weather racing. I just feel, yeah, it's one of those things. I get excited when I see rain. Not as Bender excited, but I do get excited.
I don't think anyone gets as excited as Bender.
I was about to say, I don't think anyone gets as excited about a bit of rain as me. As you say, your man JC, Tommy Sanderson, has picked up a drive through for a collision on lap 1. That is rough.
Yeah, that's a massive penalty for a lap 1 collision. So, yeah, Sandeezy copping a big whack there from the stewards. So, currently up there in P8. That's really going to hurt his points haul tonight. Especially with that field they're so very bunched up. That drive-through probably going to send him right down the back. There's a couple of stragglers back there that he might come out in front of. But other than that, the whole field's going to swallow him.
So in terms of championship already, this is races already thrown up into the spot. So our championship leaders all the way down. I'm trying to find him. Oh, there he's in 15th position. We're on board with him. Good one, you idiot. There we go. Ryan G. Oman, 15th position is Juwan. So he's currently 15th. Peach there up in 7th position. We're chasing Gibbo there on the big GTR. Just nowhere to go though. Just that's the thing with Brands Hatch. You've just got to make sure you stay on the racing line, and it's so hard to pass here. You actually get a lot of your passing moves done by just putting the pressure on the other driver and forcing him into an error.
I don't mind that. It does reward patience. Perhaps not the best viewing, but from a driving standpoint, I think that's really good. Shows a lot of consistency. As we can see, the rain has stopped.
Yep, spot on. Very observant from the rain expert. So how long before this line becomes damp or greasy or even green? With 15 minutes to go, do we reach a green track? And therefore, we've got a bunch of wet tyres on a green track, and some of them start to cook, and it all gets a little bit, as you said, it's going to get very spicy towards the end. Oh, no, very spicy here.
Yeah, very spicy now. I think drivers will be hunting for the wet patches. Obviously, with so little time remaining, no one will hit for slicks. It's just You maybe get the time back. Definitely tricky for the drivers.
Ooh, around the outside, here comes Giacomin on Gibbo. He's going to have to hope he gets a really nice drive out of there, and he does go down the inside of Gibbo. Gibbo does very nice things. He's very gentle there. Opens up the door for him. So Gibbo loses out a few spots there.
That's a classic Brands Hatch move, that one. Up front though, Mike really is out toward the second lead here, but oh, look at this battle here between Zachary James and Velasquez. They come through. Oh, Westfield down. Look at them both right out sideways. Some great car control from both drivers there. Look at
Weatherburn here in the mirrors too, though. Weatherburn in that mirror's very close by. He's waiting to pound.
Sterling's now. Another corner is very easy to get wrong. You can just take 5-10k too quick through there and you're off on that sand trap before you know it.
Have you got a favourite lap here on your favourite track, Sean? One that you really look forward to every corner, every lap?
Favourite lap? What do you mean by favourite lap?
Sorry, favourite corner that you look forward to every lap.
Sheen, 100%. It's a high risk, high reward corner. I love it.
So Sheen, for those, I'm not saying it was me, it's probably me, the uninitiated, Sheen is turn 9.
Yes, turn 9. So the thing with Sheen is though, you've got to set up early for it, take a lot of inside curve, but you can't run wide either, and it's just a very rewarding corner when you get it right, and also there's quite a bit of lap time in there as well. Whole plunge down through clearways, and it's just a great track.
Velasquez under a lot of pressure here. Defending the inside line is Velasquez, and we've seen some moves happen in this corner already tonight that haven't gone well, so Zachary does well. Backs out of it, but I'll tell you what, he got a good run. He's going to send it up the inside here.
Oh, there is
contact. There is contact. As I said, there's no overtaking opportunities in those corners. It is so hard to go through there too wide in the dry, let alone on what is now a damp track. So, unfortunately, our man Velasquez, the debutant, getting bullied by the McLarens. 3 of them going past. So a bit of shoulders out driving there from Velasquez and James, ending in Velasquez losing out. But good racing from all involved so far, other than obviously a few little incidents. It's been pretty good. They've kept it online, but now we get to see them come through on this damp track as the dry line develops. We'll see some new purple laps come in.
It's our top AM driver, Barker, currently in 4th position. Is he having some night out?
He's having a cracker.
He's enjoying the conditions, that's for sure.
Board with him now. He was one of the cars who managed to clean up Velasquez, but he's at the back of this McLaren train. Getting very interested in the back of Weatherburn there. And having to take a very wide line before the straight. Danny Lynn here, in between a Bentley and a Bentley. Those Bentleys making a Danny Lynn sandwich.
Probably couldn't think of a worse car to be stuck behind in the wet than a Bentley. It's big, it's wide, it kicks up a lot of spray, you can't see past the thing. Ooh.
Tell you what, a couple of interesting lines through there. Danny Lynn's going to cost himself one in there, I think. Yep, he does lose out to Ben Hignett. So, quite getting it right there.
Just got bullied out the way. Make a mistake, and Bentley's like, I'm coming through.
Now Hignett with the opportunity to put some pressure on his Bentley teammate. Watching out the back of Russell Hall's car here. Down the straight, here come the purple laps. Gibbo goes bang with a 30.4. He's the first one to come over. Danny Lynn, just watched him lose out to Hignett. Hignett, who goes down the inside of turn 1 of Hall.
Oh, don't mind if you do hit my shoulder.
Little Bentley on Bentley action there, but I think Hignett was pretty clean through, and the other Bentley of Hall sort of maybe turned in on him a little bit with some oversteer. So interested to see how the stewards look at that one. Again, don't mean to pretend I know what I'm talking about, but I'm just commentating on what I see. thought Hignett had that one pretty well done, and Hall had to correct his car a little bit. Maybe got a hand from Hignett, really. But anyway, that job's done for Benny, who grabs 2 positions in the 1 lap. Nice work from Hignett. Back on board with David Barker.
And well, he's pretty keen for a podium here. He's, Zachary James, a good old-fashioned hurry up.
So the track has just upgraded to damp. That's very close there for Barker.
We were watching it behind Weatherburn before, so Weatherburn's obviously got a move done somewhere on James. I know that James made an error, but Weatherburn's got past him. So we were watching Barker all up behind Weatherburn before, so now that position's changed, and he gets to have a crack at this Frog. As you said, the Frog probably pretty handy in the wet. Zachary James definitely no slouch in the wet, usually really enjoys these conditions, so doing very nicely up there in P3 as these purple laps continue to roll in.
Just on board there with Barker. Interesting, he takes Clark Curve in 2nd gear. Just a bit of a surprise there. In the wet, I thought he might try 3rd. I take it in 3rd, but I'm no expert here, but just found that a little interesting, quite surprising. Saw a little bit of oversteer on the exit, so I'm going to put in the memory bank as Sanderson cops a 15-second whack for an unsafe rejoin, and then pops in with the fastest lap.
Yeah, it's not a great race for Sanderson. He had that drive through earlier, and now he's got 15 seconds as well. So, not a great race 2 for him.
Debutant Velasquez currently there in 5th. Right now on board with our championship leader, Ryan Durong. Got Gibbo behind him.
Ryan in the LD Audi.
Oh no, it's Hermanto behind him now. Yep, thanks ACC for updating nice and quick for me. I do like that red and white. No, don't know why, I just like it. So next now moved his way up to 6, so he's slowly picking them off one by one. Very meticulous.
Yeah, I think he's got past Gold up in a 5th. So he's doing very well for himself. He's having a quiet night. Hasn't been on screen that much, which is when you know you're having a good night. Not involved in too many incidents, or certainly hasn't picked up any penalties. Just having a nice clean night. As you said before, he's pretty handy at keeping a nice tight lines. He's just quietly going about his business. Stuart Coleman comes across with a purple lap now. He said this damp track, you can see the line starting to form. Right in front of our eyes, these drivers are starting to find that dry line. But as you said, Bender, they will be looking for wet patches too, because these wet tyres will start to scream. They'll be getting very warm. That looks like a move up the inside from the tight line. Harding not quite getting it done, and now coming under a lot of pressure from Duong. Duong obviously very quick.
I think
Currently leading the championship. He's going to have him. Yep. We have seen Death down into this corner trying to do an overtake, but Duong's got that one done. He is clear and through. So nice work from Ryan. Harding, as I said, just trying to have a little crack upside the inside of Withers, but didn't quite get it right, and then cost himself a lot on the exit. So Duong has himself another spot.
That track temp is absolutely skyrocketed too. It's up to 27 degrees and it's got very light and the sun is out. This track is going to dry very quickly.
Oh, there you go.
Yep, these tyres are going to be squealing. It'll be almost like driving in the wet again. So this is what happened to Zach James. We watch him come up behind Yoda here. Yoda just sort of putting his car in the right spot.
Yep.
Zachary just sort of let himself off track there, so he cost himself a handful of positions. As Harding also goes with a very ambitious and adventurous line that doesn't work out for him. And Marto, Gibbons both go up the inside and say thank you very much. Not wrong, that Nissan and the Mercedes do look very similar. I know they're totally different liveries, but from the helicopter, I'm struggling to tell those two apart. Big fat bum girls, Mercedes and the Nissan. But I'm getting better. Nothing looks as beautiful as this McLaren though for me. It looks like a race car. It's a proper race car. One of these four-door saloon family Mercedes and Nissans. I love the McLaren. It's my favourite looking car. Looks like a proper race car.
Yep. That's Yep.
So
I'm
is
a
that a no,
Porsche.
is that a no from you? Yeah, I know you love
Yeah,
a Porsche. That's
I'm
fair
a
enough.
Porsche man through and through. So purposeful looks of business, but I agree with the McLaren. Definitely looks like a race car. Of course, the Merc just looks like a big GT car that's going out for Sunday drive, and they've whacked a big wing on it.
It does. Yeah, it looks like something you'd see in the business part of your city, and someone's just whacked a wing on it. That's exactly what it looks like. Here's Zachary James putting pressure on Duong, which is odd to me because again, I think Zachary James has made another error there because they were 2 or 3 positions separated, and now as they come across the line, it updates. And Duong's got him as well. There's someone out there in the sandpit. That is Weatherburn, I believe.
Oh no, he's gone from second. He's had some sort of issue. Oh, look at it.
Yeah, he's
Still
stopped
parked
there.
there.
He's
Oh, no.
not moving, is he? Oh no, it's
Drama.
here we come. Last couple of minutes, it's getting
Been
spicy.
spun
Here we go. Dry line, moves being made anywhere. Gibbo getting done there by Hignett. Harding leading that pack now too, so Harding's picked up a couple of spots. This board is going to have to do all sorts of updating. Look at these tyres just starting to fry now. That's Cheviot's on the outside there. So with 3 minutes to go, there's yellow flags popping up everywhere as these tyres die. Zachary James has stopped on the side of the road there. Not sure if he spun or if he's having issues as well. As I said, Jacob Weatherburn obviously having some form of issues because he didn't get moving after his initial spin. This is Gibbo doing very nicely at the moment, up there in P11. But he'll want to crank himself up into that P10 if he can. If not P9, he's got Harding in front of him and Hignett right there as well. So with 3 minutes to go, he'll be looking to make a few more spots.
Track is greasy now. Just carrying on from those who have stopped on the side of the track. Not sure if they got gone again. It wouldn't be because they've underfueled, would it?
Oh,
Contact.
Pedro Velasquez. Oh, jeez. That was tight. Oh, look at this, though. Giacomo's going to have a big look here. Sends it straight up the inside up there at Druids. That's a nice move. Oh, look at Velasquez.
Oh,
Return
Velasquez
serve.
wants one back too. Senekis getting his elbows out and says, no, 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 I'm having that. That's not for you. But Velasquez, after getting mugged a couple of times already this race, decided, you know, I'm going to have one back here and decides to stick up for himself. Doesn't quite work out, but I don't mind that ambition. But everyone keeps on the straight and narrow, so they will play on. Bender, surely not. Surely not. They've already done a 30-minute race tonight. I mean, the pace is a bit quicker in this one, so potentially. But you would hope that everyone just chucks an extra 10 litres in there. It really doesn't affect the balance that much. Just please get enough fuel in there. I don't know, man. Maybe. I hope that's not the case. 296 is in the pits. Amanto's in there. So, not sure what's happened to him. We did watch him spin before, but it didn't look like he had any damage from that spin. It's sort of just a spin on the side of the road. This is Ryan Duong. He is almost in the boot of Mr. Love.
Mr. Love, well, Clint, what he has to do is just place that Bentley in the right spot every part of the track, and there is no way that Audi's getting past unless it's a big, brave move. This man, Mike Rio, old barbecue buns, what a race this has been from him. Classy performance in that beautiful orange McLaren. He has just got himself out in front and has not looked back.
Yeah, David Parker also having a cracking race. Up there in P2 in the M class, not just a podium. He's P2, but he's going to have to defend that P2 from our current... Well, he's currently P5, but he got on pole, so he's right up there. Giacomo with the 5-second penalty, though. We'll have to... Oh, that's wide.
That wide?
I think that's Barker. I think that was Barker out wide.
Oh no.
Oh, no, and Senekis is going to get him here too. So
Podium.
he has to stay within 5 seconds of Giacomo. Giacomo with that 5-second penalty might just give it back to him. He's lost it on track, that's for sure. But if he can just hang in there for these last 40 seconds, that 5-second penalty might come into play and he might just hang on for P3. But Senekis says, thank you, mother, for the rabbits. He goes up into P3, which is probably going to be P2. But this is Duong all over the back of Love, and Withers, Hignett, and Harding all behind them. Here's Cheviot's. We watched him go a little bit wide before, and I think he lost 2 or 3 positions, so he's down in 17th, 16th now. But as you said, Sean, hats off to this man, Mike Reel. Easy does it, comes across in P1.
Oh,
Yeah,
Love.
one more
Yeah,
lap
that's
in.
Love.
One more lap in, sorry.
No, well said, Bender. Thank you. There will be one more lap, but barring any atrocities, he probably will bring it home. This is Zachary James taking advantage of Love's little escapade. So Love's fallen right back down there to P12.
Definitely won't be
Velasquez.
loving that.
Yeah, Velasquez has had an interesting race. Started on pole and has sort of been in the battle with the big boys, so he's definitely got the pace, but sort of fallen by the wayside of a few incidences and finds himself down at 5th at the moment.
These drivers here, they'll be on eggshells at the moment. This is, you can just see the cars do not want to turn. They don't want to stop. They are not liking this at all.
It's looked like friggin' Melbourne weather, to be honest. It started off wet, and it's literally a spring day at the moment. It is absolutely sunny and peachy out there at the moment. I can't believe that's not a green track, to be honest. It has dried up super quick. There are a few wet patches out there, but I wouldn't be going out there trying to find them.
It's like Bathurst from the weekend.
Yeah, just on and off, wasn't it?
Like 30-minute shower, drives up a couple hours, another 30-minute shower, no worries.
We did have some really good rain bursts, though. Like, that solid period of rain was a lot of fun to drive in, but
Oh, it was. It's great.
wet or dry, it does not matter. Mike Reel has had a massive weekend at Bathurst. He was in all the support races. He participated in the Big 12 area, and he comes here to Brands Hatch and he goes, bang! P1 in race 2. Congratulations, Mike. Barbecue Buns is your race winner. Giacomo comes across the line in P2, but he will drop down to P3 to Senekis and potentially even P4. If that is the case, Barker will come home.
Yep,
Actually,
Barker gets third.
Did Barker get overtaken by Velasquez? I'm not sure. I didn't see Barker come over
No.
the line, but anyway, that'll work
Barker
itself out.
makes it.
Nice work to Barker if he did grab that podium. Very nice work from the Ann driver. Duong holds on to the purple lap, and Hignett, Withers, Harding and Gibbons round out the top 10. Gibbo managing to pinch a top 10 position. Nice work from him. Watching Sandeezy come over the line now, who managed to draw himself back up into P18, but again, a 15-second penalty is going to slap him back down the ladder a little bit. Denny Lynn here, sort of battling Bryce Meddings, but he would take a very good effort from Bryce. I tell you what, Bryce has got him on the line, and that is because Denny Lynn has a monumental amount of damage on that Mercedes, and he went wide out of the last corner. So Bryce Meddings said, thank you very much, and he had a couple, plonks himself into 19th position. Oh, wow, split green delivered tonight with the moisture.
Green light, go, go, go.
Goodness me, it was Ryan Duong winning race 1. And the purple lap as well, cleaning up that one. Giacomo P2 and Senekis P3. For the Pro-Ams, it was Love, Withers and Real. And Mr. Barker, being our only M-Class driver participating tonight, will clean up the win for both races, I would suggest. But in race 2, it was Mike Real. After finishing 3rd, comes up to P1. That's a great effort. Senekis very consistent tonight, P2. And Barker P3 with Pro-Ams, Real taking that out as well. Withers P2 and Love P3. And of course, Barker up there on his lonesome. Velasquez, welcome to OOR, my friend. You will find yourself into a nice little position next week as we go to Suzuka. And congratulations to the safety car for making it through the night.
With no
Fellas.
spins.
What a split green that was. And hats off to Split Yellow as well, who provided us a safety car and some excellent battling at Brands Hatch, a track not known for its overtakes. We had overtakes galore.
Some absolute crackers, but definitely overtake of the night. Mr. Rio around the outside of Hawthorn in the wet. Hats off, sir.
Yeah, get a replay of that one. Throw that up in the Discord. That'll get some thumbs up. That was an absolute ripper. Well, that'll just about do us, I think. We've got obviously split blue and split red tomorrow night. Obviously still here at Brands Hatch for those. And our F1 series resumes on Sunday, heading off to Portimao for the first time. Having never raced there before, obviously being a new track. So looking forward to that on Sunday night. But until then, Mr. Bender, Mr. Sean, thank you very much for your efforts this evening.
Thank
No
you.
worries. Thanks for having us. It's been fun as always, especially with the rain. Love to see it.
Thank you. Obviously, it also goes out to Race Control for your efforts tonight. Obviously, to our stewards, Alex, and everyone in that team, and to Chat, MVP from you again tonight. Every time you turn up, very pleasing work from you, Chat. We'll see you all tomorrow night.
I've got this